Jackie's having trouble getting in here. I don't know. Try it again. I sent her to.
Don't have one. Sure.
Her crutches might be getting in the way to log in. I get that.
Yeah, she was, yeah, hurting there.
All right, Paul, if you want to start us off.
Is Jackie on?
I just resent it to her.
Okay.
I don't want to do anything without, everything happening at once. Let her.
Yeah, she's texting me now and saying she's having trouble getting in. Well, should be right. We can start with the minutes or something if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
We've got minutes and
Okay. Oh, you want me to make a motion?
No, we gotta get started first.
Oh,
I gotta call the meeting to order, stuff like that, details. I know you're anxious to make a motion. I love it.
uh-huh.
So what are we? This is the Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals. It is 7:03 p.m. on July 28th, 2025. We're meeting remotely via Zoom. And like the meeting to get started. And the first item is there are a couple sets of minutes to review and approve. And so my question is, have you folks read the minutes and confirmed that they're accurate?
I have read them, and the only change I would make is on the June 16th one. At the end towards the end, my name is spelled without the Y. Other than that,
June 16th, I'll fix that right now.
Okay, there were a couple sets sent around because I flagged a bunch of just general terminology issues. A hearing versus a meeting, and who closed what hearing or who closed what meeting and continued what hearing.
All those have been corrected. I reposted them already.
Okay, so if you're looking at the latest set that he sent around, where was it, about 4 o'clock today?
Yeah, I almost sent it to you. I just posted it.
So they don't get it?
Oh, I didn't know if
I got privilege then.
You got privilege. Before we go any further, wait, Leslie, where was your change? I'm trying to find it here.
it said Brant instead of Bryant. It's in bold print, I think.
Oh, there you go. It's easier just to change the name.
Yeah. I'll go to court tomorrow and get that.
Yeah, we're set with that as amended. Paul's had corrected in the text of both of them, hearing versus meeting, and a motion in a second. So I went to the tape, got everything straight.
Okay.
I had one correction. Actually, I had what Leslie already corrected. She got hers. My name is spelt wrong in one instance in the May 21st meeting minutes.
May 21st.
May 21st, yes.
Yeah, I saw that, Jerry.
Yeah, second page, I don't know.
And you don't want to change yours either.
3 paragraphs down, Mr. Colbert should be a U instead of an O.
Third paragraph down.
Third paragraph down in what I've got is in the second page.
Oh, got it. Okay.
All right, that was all I observed. That was it. Other than that, I'm good.
All right, so if we're under control, can I get a motion
Oh, I have one more, Paul.
Go ahead, John.
Quick, 2 paragraphs above where Jerry's name was misspelled, it says, and it might be just me, proposed without exceeding the coverage and consequently negate the need for Americans.
Oh,
And I'm wondering what that.
that's a very,
Oh,
No need for Americans, but you know,
For what? For Americans? Oh,
yeah.
seal the cover by staff would indicate probably see the
It's
cover.
where Chair's trying to ask Ms. Peel to clarify data, starts the paragraph.
Is that in reference? What are we talking about here? This is
Almost certainly the word should be variance.
a variance. That's what
I
it is.
thought
Yeah.
so,
A
but
variance. Yeah. Not Americans. right.
Autocorrect.
Yeah.
Oh, here's
I
Jackie.
got that. I
Okay.
changed it.
Thank you.
Jackie's coming in.
Okay. Those changes are made as on both sets of minutes as requested. Good to go.
Jackie,
you
are
want the
you,
motion?
you have your ears on? Can you hear us?
Talking to
Now I
who?
do. Yep, now I do.
Awesome. So we were just picking at the minutes from the last two meetings, and we had a series of minor corrections. Do you have anything on the last two sets of minutes, the May and the June meetings?
You know what? I did look them over and I didn't have questions. I appreciate that people looked at them with more detail.
Okay, so at this point, we've already called the meeting to order. I would like a motion to approve the May minutes of the zoning board.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 21st, 2025 meeting of the Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals as amended.
second,
So Bill, in your corrections, did you fix that I made a motion? Because I wasn't supposed to make motions.
I did, and we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, I did fix that.
Okay, so somebody else made the
Yeah, it's
motion?
Jerry.
Okay,
Jerry's always looking to get out of here.
all right. So, roll call. We have a motion and a second, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Brad's in favor, Jerry's in favor, Leslie, are you in favor?
Yes.
John,
Yes.
where are we? Jackie,
Yes.
and I guess I can be a yes too at this point. So now I would like, that passes unanimously, I would like to get a motion for the June zoning board minutes.
All right, and make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 16th, 2025 meeting of the Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals as amended.
Thank you.
second,
Jerry seconds. Any further comments? All in favor?
aye,
Brad says yes, Jerry says yes, Leslie says yes, John says yes,
Yes.
Jackie, yes, and I'll say yes, that passes unanimously as well. Thank you, guys. Now to
Thank
the cases, both of them are continuances from previous hearings. So I don't have a formal agenda in front of me. All I have is what's on the website. So who's first?
We can share it here. First is Garfield. But
Mr. Cormier.
where is? Oh, I
Um,
closed it. Zoe, do you have it handy? We can open it.
Mr. Cormier.
Yes, I also just made you the co-host, which you had not been.
Oh, all right. That was what was going on. Okay. Okay. Do you want to open that, or do you want me to open it, Zoe?
You please go ahead and open it.
All right. And we will share that agenda. Boom. All right. This will be easier. You can see this, Paul. Okay, can you see it?
Yep.
I gotta enlarge my screen. There we go.
And
Now-
also, if the board members were also, at the end of the meeting, we have to remember we're electing chair and vice chair again, which we didn't. Okay. So first is 3032 Walnut, Mr. Chair.
Oh, Walnuts first.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is a continuance of the 30 to 32 Walnut Street, continued from June 16th. Pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 5, Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals will be holding continuance of the public hearing on Zoom video to hear all persons interested in the application by Daniel Cormier, 30 to 32 Walnut Street, Maynard. The subject property on 3032 Walnut Street is a two-family dwelling located in general residence zoning district per sections 312 and 83 of the Maynard zoning bylaws, protective bylaws. The applicant seeks a special permit approval to operate an accessory home-based business type B at 3032 Walnut Street and to allow overnight outdoor parking of 2 additional commercial vehicles associated with the business of the property. Now, where we left off last month was to have a site visit after he had done some cleaning up and organizing of his business backyard. And I believe everybody has made a visit to his property. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
And so where do we stand now? I would like to give Mr. Cormier a chance to speak at this point and describe what he's done. And then we can have further questions. Is that okay?
Yes.
Mhm.
So where is,
I'm here.
good. So describe what you've done, if you have anything left to do, and just generally refresh us from your point of view, and let's keep it short because it's a hot night and several of us are running without air conditioning.
I want nothing more to be through with this, so whatever I can do to it's expedite it would be to my liking as well.
Okay,
What I've done is just, I think it was obvious from the visit and then the revisit. I've lost an awful lot of materials. I've put in storage, some of it. I re-landscaped. I created recreation space. I put up blinds or screens, as you could call it, from the street. I put covers over things that would further hide view. Move things where they would be. I don't know that I was out of any zoning setbacks, but I'm certainly within now. I don't think there's much more to add. It's just been a complete turnaround. I listened to everything you said. I tried to address every point, and you revisited today, and I think I've met pretty much all of it. I'm just I'm asking for those 2 permits, and it was just something that I don't think a lot of people cared, but I'm dealing with the zoning board and I'm addressing their concerns, and I think I've met those concerns.
all right, appreciate it. Now, the 2 permit items that you mentioned, just to clarify so that we know what we're looking at.
Yeah.
One of them was for what? Trucks, number of commercial vehicles?
Yeah. Commercial vehicles. Yeah.
Okay, what was the other one?
Well, to have the business first and foremost, and then the 2 vehicles. I was asking for some spraying equipment that I use. I don't know that was something that needed to be voted on. What else was there? I think that was it.
All right. Bill, was there anything else from your memory? I think that is the coverage of what he was asking.
Yes, the original request was for a home-based business type B use, and the number of vehicles, as you know, is limited without a special permit. Number of commercial vehicles to 1, and the applicant was asking for a total of, was it 2? I think, Daniel. Let me see here.
Yeah, aside from the primary.
2 additional.
2 additional, so a
Yeah.
total of 3 commercial vehicles.
All right. Any questions from the other board members? Brad?
Yeah, wasn't there something about the tents or the something that was in the original application, and I'm sorry that I don't have that in front of me right now. There was some setback issues or something that was part of the original application, which was asking to build something, you build or change or add something to that?
No,
No, I don't think I don't have that. Let's see. Let me
Because
make sure
there were some sketches that, as I recall.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We did ask him for some sketches of the property to kind of, so the board would have an idea of what.
If I
being
recall, the
proposed.
application, there was just mention that a tent was going to be moved to be in compliance with our setback requirements as part of this. It was the suggestion was that this was the location where it was proposed to be in order to be in compliance.
right.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
that was a 10 by 20, which was 200 square feet, which needed a 15-foot setback. I've reduced that to a 15 by 10, which is 150 square feet, which is under the requirement for that 15-foot setback. So I've met the requirements.
And the requirement's 7 feet now, I think you said.
I'm at 7 anyways, but
Yeah.
I didn't put it right on 5.
Actually, I'm not sure about that. I believe the requirement is it has to be under 120 feet or under. But that may have changed. Is that-
It's
I've asked many
State
people several
bylaw.
times about this exact detail.
Yeah, well, we'll find out what our bylaws, what the state bylaws say.
So we're talking different kind of numbers, I think. We're talking feet of setback versus square footage, because 100 sounds more like a square footage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the square footage that determines the setback. If you're 200 square feet, you need to be 15 feet from the property line. If you're under 200 square feet, you need to be 5 feet from the back, and there's no setback to the side. The way I've been told the rule works. So I'm 7 feet from the back, and I'm probably 4 or 5 feet from the side.
The distinction is what qualifies as an accessory structure.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't realize
Right.
there was a square footage on it.
There is a square footage. I think is it 250, Zoe?
The square footage just has to do with whether it's considered to be a permanent permitted structure that would require a building permit. But as an accessory structure, the setback requirements are the same regardless of the size of the accessory structure. So a garage and a tent have the same setback requirements,
Got it.
even though you need a permit for one and not the other.
Thank you.
And so do you happen to have what it says for general residential, what the setbacks are?
Well, a setback requirement for the rear is 5 feet in all zones for accessory structures.
Oh, for accessory, okay.
Yes.
And that's side and back, or side can be on the line?
I believe that the side can be on the line, but I'll
Okay.
have to just clarify that with
I'm
the building
sorry,
commissioner.
I don't know why I don't know that, because I'm usually on top of those things. Thank you.
Okay, so we got that under control. So from the site visit or any other questions that the board members has, are there any?
I'm just curious to know what you're planning on doing with as far as surface where there's sand now.
It's loam. It's just dried up. It's been baked. It's loam. If you wet that, it would look like loam coming off a truck. It's ready to be planted. It's just it's baked so dry that it's
So it's
turned
gonna
to
be
dust,
grass.
just like the Dust Bowl swept away farms. It's the same thing. It just doesn't have any vegetation to hold any moisture.
Leslie, is that okay?
Yeah, I assume it's going to be planted
If I did
or
nothing, it would-
gravelled or something.
I mean, is this part of the zoning? I mean, do I need
No, I'm
grass?
just- No,
It's not necessarily part of the zoning meeting tonight, but I think Leslie has just a general question of interest as to what your plans might be, not that it's binding.
I would rather allow the weeds to grow up and I mow the weeds. I've mowed weeds for 36 years and they look pretty good. I don't have to pay fertilizer. I don't have to pay water. I don't have any maintenance. It just does what it does. I mow the lawn. I keep keep it from tickling my knees, and it's always short. I mow it. It's never more than 3 inches.
All right, any other questions?
So to clarify the trucks, one business truck and two others. So the special permit allows all three trucks plus a personal vehicle.
How does a personal vehicle get involved?
No, because I saw four vehicles, so one must be personal, right? So the special permit's for the three business trucks.
That's all we need to talk about.
Yeah, that was my question. So you just clarified it. All right, thank you.
I took some photos tonight, but everybody was there, so I don't think, unless somebody wants to see them, I don't.
Okay, Jerry, did you have any,
Yes, and I mentioned the first part of this when I was on the site tonight. Mr. Cormier has done an excellent job cleaning it up in the past 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it's exactly been. I commend him for that. It looks much better than it did before. There are, in fact, yes, 4 vehicles. I guess one maybe is personal. I don't know. But I just have a general issue that it eliminating the vehicles question for a moment, it doesn't look like a residential backyard. To me, it looks like a commercial backyard, and side yard. The other side of the house, not where you walk up the driveway, but the other side where a driveway was cut over the last year or so. And there's rocks or what have you, and there's ladders all piled up against the house. It just doesn't, it doesn't, in a residential zoned area with small square foot, small footprint land lots, it doesn't look like a residential yard. Looks like a commercial yard to me. And I don't know that that's what our bylaws call for. It's a residential zone. I don't know that, I just don't know that it fits. And I know Mr. Cormier has had this for years, and I understand it, I get it. But things change, and the law changed. The zoning laws changed just, I'm gonna say this was maybe 2 years ago. Bill or Zoe may know that point better than I do. But it just doesn't look like a residential backyard, generally speaking. That's my comment.
So
thanks,
if I could
Jerry.
ask, what
No,
are the points? You say the ladders. You know, I worked until the last minutes.
Mm.
And, you know, there is more that would be done if I didn't run out of time. I mean, the ladders, I mean, I don't know where I could hide them, what I could do with them. If you're going to allow a business, I mean, you look at painters, I mean, they have ladders. It's not something unusual. The house that I have is a 3-story house, and it needs paint. It takes ladders to reach those heights. Houses have ladders. I mean, unless you're somebody that doesn't do the work yourself, the painters will come and bring their ladders away when they leave. If you are doing the work yourself, it requires ladders, and you can't buy a ladder and then, you know, get rid of it. It's not like it happens that quick. So the ladder thing, I've talked about the spray equipment that you might have seen at the top of the driveway, and the driveway. It's mid-process. I got called into this. Granted, I had an injury. It slowed the progress, but you know, there's no construction site on the planet that doesn't create chaos in order to bring order. And this is what you're looking at. I mean, I don't know how to, aside from completing the job, and I can't do it in a short amount of time. You know, it's something that does take time to build. And I've had other distractions. I mean, this last month I've been chasing this thing.
Well,
So what else in the yard didn't look residential? You mentioned the ladder, and you mentioned what might have been on the side, but I mean, it was.
So Daniel, just let me pause you for a moment. I understand you're very sensitive to this, but Jerry commented on the ladders, and you commented on the short time that you had to put this all together. And I agree with Jerry. You did a great job in what you've done. So my question on the ladders is, what's your plan for them now?
Is a personal property allowed to have ladders?
Yes, it is. And the challenge here is separating personal from business and the issues we talked about a little bit last time. And so my question in a general sense is, what are your plans for the ladders, if any?
I don't have a solution, because if you want a ladder that goes up 3 stories, which I'm capable of doing, they don't fit in storage units. What do I propose I do?
I don't want to get into a defensive situation. I simply wanted to know what your plans are. If you don't have any, that's okay. I just wanted to know what your plans are.
I don't have plans because I don't know what else to do with them. I mean, I need
Okay.
them.
Okay.
I don't have a solution. I'd love a solution if somebody has one.
Well, I mean, offhand, Mr. Chair, may I respond?
Sure. Are you going to take the ladders?
I got my own ladder. um, Daniel, I think there's listening to what the board is saying. What could you do? And your response, what could you do with ladders? The board is in a position where they recognize that there is the question of what is for personal use, what is for business use, and what is going to be construed as business use. And we've run into this before. And so if it was me, the way I would simplify it would be, if you have a specific space you want for the ladders, you screened everything else. If you know they're going to be there, nobody wants to look at a ladder forever if you're their neighbor. Anyway, and screening it, you've done a marvelous job of screening with lattice or with everything. Just address it. It should be a simple fix. Wherever it is, screen it so somebody doesn't have to look at it. It's no different than if somebody had a dumpsters or trash cans on the
let
side.
me ask this. So I've got the board coming over. I'm trying to dress this up to make it look as good as possible. And
looks
putting
great.
a ladder in the middle of the
Looks great.
backyard wasn't going to help my cause.
Mhm.
So I left it on the side where they'd been. If you don't like the view of it from the street, then I'll put them in the back.
That's a
I mean,
plan to do it, or screen. Yeah, I think
If
the
you're all right
idea.
with that, I mean, that's what I'll do.
I can't speak for the board, but I'm just responding that if you're asking what, to help you along, yeah, that would be my approach. I either screen it where it is with something that the board finds acceptable or move it in the back, but just keep it so it's not glaring. If this board is trying to make a determination about, is this his business stuff, and they're hearing it, about, is it business, is it personal, this takes part of the pressure off of them and gives them a realistic solution that's consistent with their bylaw that they have to enforce. That's all I'm saying, Daniel.
All right. If we can ask the board if it's all right that I put them in the back, if that would be acceptable, then that's what I will do.
The suggestion that I would offer here is, I see that new fencing on the side, and I believe you had some kind of a structure fence on some or all of the back, and you could hang hooks or pegs.
Yeah.
And just put them behind your what is it, the black tent's the one in the back corner, and just get them up out of the way.
Yeah.
That way the dirt doesn't wreck the sliding mechanisms or anything else. I just wanted to know what your thoughts were. I didn't want to make it defensive. I was just curious to respond to Jerry's comment that they were just there.
Right. I mean, I just didn't have a solution. I mean, didn't know what.
Yeah.
It seems it's a defensive situation. It is, because where do I put them? I made the back look good, and now you don't want them in the side, so you can put them in the back. Now you'll have a problem with the back. So
we'll
if
deal
you're
with that
okay with
next
my
month.
putting them behind something and putting them on hooks, I'll do whatever you need.
Yeah, so I just wanted to respond to something that Jerry had commented on, that the bylaws changed 2 years ago and so on. And yes, we did develop the home-based business bylaw to sort of clarify what we were looking for. But to have a business operating out of a residential property has been on the Maynard bylaws for as far back as I can find. It goes back to 2000 or more. So the issue here is not a new issue. It's simply trying to, reel you in to be with what the zoning laws are intended to be. So, sorry, it's a late find, but we're trying to make it all work. And you have done a very nice job, a very good job of what we have seen so far. And the one comment that I have, is the tractor. Because our bylaws specifically say something about tractors. It says heavy construction equipment on the property is an
Yeah.
issue that needs to be dealt with. And a simple solution to that is to put it under a slightly larger canopy so that it's out of sight. But right now, as I saw it, it's sort of overgrown and crawling out of the canopy. So
Well,
that's
the last I spoke, and I'm having a cramp right now that I'm fighting, but the last we spoke, it was okay to be outside. It just needed to be out of view. It didn't need to be under a tent. So I thought putting a tent is above what they were asking. So that's what I did. I thought that was a clever solution. You know, you can't see the tractor from the street. I made the blind or the screen or the whatever you want to call it from the street. It's well hidden behind that. For anybody else that can see it, it's you know, they're only seeing a percentage of it. It's only one house.
yeah. So,
And it's not a business item.
well,
This is tractor, Jerry talk.
yeah, that
Yeah.
behind that tent there that you see on the end, it's,
Mhm.
you know, if you look at it from the side view, you can see that there you go, that it's sort of half there. And maybe that screening is enough. This is simply my view of it. And so what I'm thinking we ought to do now to move this forward is if we can put up the zoning bylaw section 8.3.6 with all those parenthetical paragraphs.
All right.
This is the criteria A through N.
Yeah,
Okay.
Do you have it, Zoe, or you want me to pull it up?
If you have it close to hand. Should be page 30.
All right, we're starting here, folks.
where are we? 8.3.6. So what we need to do is go through these criteria. A couple of them leak back to the type A, but the point is, if we scroll down and go up onto the next paragraph page, there's a list. That list we
Mhm.
need to confirm of what we want to do and what is, you know, an exception that we could put into it. And if we find that we can't make it work, then the answer is we're probably not going to make it work. If we can figure out a way to make each one of these work, great. We'll give you the special permit. And this is done by vote. And so we want to go through these N items and understand
These,
which ones are even applicable.
okay. So we're going to start with you're talking about these, Paul, right here, the characteristics here.
Yeah, let's move up to the first paragraph just before that, because the other three little paragraphs, those three numbered paragraphs. So in addition to those set forth under the A through N groups, item 1 there, yeah, there you go. We have to look at 10.4. And then for type B, we have to comply with 8.3.3, which is the general stuff for general provisions for A and B. And here's where we get into a challenge, because here we're talking about construction equipment. And where does it, I'm trying to find it, heavy
Number
duty.
4, heavy construction equipment after the no commercial trailers. Number 4, 8.3.3.
8.3.3. Yeah, well, the trick there is that tractor he wants to use as his personal device, not as part of his handyman's business. So that it gets to be a little gray there, and we look at item K in 8.3.6, where it says heavy construction equipment on the property needs to be dealt with. So we have a bunch of things to go through
All
here.
right, can I interject something here?
Yes,
You're calling it heavy construction. Now, if you went to Tractor Supply, which just moved into town, if you ask for parts for heavy equipment, they won't have any. So this Tractor Supply that moved into town is a store that cannot cater to anybody within this town for anything they sell, and as far as tractor is concerned. This is a category 1 marketed to homeowners. It is one of the smallest implement tractors made. You know, it's not heavy equipment. It's not big construction. It's hard to call it construction because it can't lift into a dump truck. It doesn't lift high enough.
okay, okay, I understand. So what we need to do is go through these paragraphs and just as a general discussion to find out if it's an item of concern, if it doesn't apply, and if it is something of concern, is it something that we can put a condition on to make it work? So starting at 8361, in addition to these requirements, the provisions of 10.4 shall apply. And what is 10.4? We know what 10.4 is? I will flip forward. It might not be.
So
It's the standard special permit requirements for general impact, neighborhood impact. Whether it's more beneficial than detrimental. And all the
okay.
conditions.
10.4.2, the criteria for a special permit determination shall include consideration of each of the following: social, economic, community needs served by the proposal, traffic flow, utility adequacy, neighborhood character, impact to the natural environment, and potential fiscal impact, tax-based services, and so on. That's what I see coming out of that. Is that right, Zoe?
That's correct.
So that's the first item to consider. If we're going to do a special permit, those items need to be considered. We can come back to that after we do all the others that are in this list, but that's an item to consider.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, just to follow up on that, you're absolutely right. These are considerations. These are not, and just to show that they're addressed in the board, any special permit, the board will 10.4 will apply. The 836 special permit criteria is unique to the type B and probably would be a little less familiar. So it might make more sense to kind of talk through those first, if I may suggest.
Which one?
836 findings. You know, down
Oh, the
here.
A through N group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically it's stuff that we've done before, but it organizes it for, consideration of each one, and then the board can weigh those. And then the other stuff you're used to dealing with, and you can decide that probably with a lot less consideration. So.
All right. So the boss has spoken. So I guess we're going to start with what's on the screen now. The area of building space. And if somebody could take notes as to which ones are applicable to this.
I'll do that.
Okay, item A, the area of building space exclusively or regularly used by the ZBA is more than 25% of the dwelling. What we mean by dwelling is the owner occupied building. So is your tent area, the 2 tent buildings, more than 25% of the floor area of your house?
So you're taking land area and superimposing it over the footprint of the house?
No, the tents.
The building space
Right.
exclusively used by your business, which is those 2 tents. What I'm
No, Mr. Chair, if I may correct, the 2 tents are accessory structure, so it's not a dwelling.
Ah,
That's why they don't have to meet the setbacks.
Yeah,
Paul,
the way it is
yeah,
read, the area of building space exclusively used, talking about a dwelling, that's not the building space, is it? Are you talking about the building space within the dwelling?
I believe that that is what it refers to, like whether if you were running a business out of your home, whether you were using more than 25% of the interior of your home for conducting that business.
Right.
Okay, if you
That's
want to
correct.
go that way, what is the note that we put in there? We say not relevant?
I don't think it applies.
I agree.
I need to have the board members say that, Bill.
Yes, I agree.
I
I agree.
agree.
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's unanimous.
use of an accessory building by the AHBBA. He's got 2 accessory structures. Are those buildings? Or am I getting a new grammar lesson here?
An accessory building. Yes,
an accessory structure. It's considered to be as a structure because whether it's a carport or it's a permanent structure, it's considered to be the same, whether it's garage.
Okay, so that one is a yes, we need to consider.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
The next item, 1 or more non-resident employees working at the premises. Do you have any employees?
I do not.
So that one becomes not necessary to consider, is that right?
yes.
Right.
The next one is,
Yes,
And a non-resident employee working on site other than weekdays between the hours of 9 and 5. Again, that's not relevant to what you're doing,
Does not apply.
okay? Customers, clients, patients, students, other patrons of the AHBBA on the premises other than those weekdays. Anything there?
Only myself, nobody else.
More than, so E does not apply,
Does not apply.
all right? More, an F, more than 2 business-related vehicle visits any day or more than 10 visits per week. In other words, you have suppliers dropping stuff off or clients dropping stuff off.
None whatsoever.
Okay, so that one does not apply. G, more than 2 customers, clients, patrons, anytime for business, and that's it. You just said that one as well. So G does not apply. Right?
yep.
Okay. Scroll to the next page, please.
Bill,
Scroll up to the next page, please. Where did it go?
there it is.
Yeah. More use of more than a total of 1 on-street parking space by a customer's client. Again, that one doesn't apply because you don't have any customers.
Right.
Okay. The delivery or distribution of products and materials related to the HB other than a passenger motor vehicle or parcel letter carrier. Typical in residential areas. I don't think that applies either, right?
No deliveries. Nope.
More than 1 commercial motor vehicle and 1 trailer used principally for the business parked outside overnight on the property. So I think we found one. This is one we have to consider. Is that right?
looks like it.
Yes.
Okay. Heavy construction equipment on the property. And here's where we have a debate whether that tractor is heavy construction or not.
And is it business related?
It didn't say that. It just says on the property.
Mhm.
So it's one we need to take up and debate. The next one, item L, noise, vibration, glare, fume, odors discernible beyond the property line.
I believe that might come into consideration.
What's that, please, Brad? I missed that.
I believe that might come into consideration. We had the letter talking about working on the equipment on weekends,
Mhm.
loud noises related to the business, related to the trucks or the whatever he's doing there.
Yeah, and the question I have on that memo that was circulated is, was that noise happening while he was cleaning his property up for us? Or is it something that's long-term and persistent? I don't have the answer to that.
I don't know if any of us do, but I would suspect, when I read that, I suspected that that was due to his getting the property ready for our inspection.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That-
thinking
that-
too.
That's my,
I think there's more than one letter that was sent out about that, however, and that was prior to our first
uh,
site meeting.
Let me take a look. I might have it.
I think brought that issue up
Are
as
these,
well.
are these letters being sent by the complainant?
Yeah, it was it was an email that let's see here, when originally it would have been with the
So
on the agenda package.
And that's tricky because it mentioned a chainsaw. And when I looked up the rules around noise, as long as it's within certain hours and decibels, it's okay. But I think our question is it being done for the business and when is it being done? Is that correct?
mhm.
When would I use a chainsaw for a business?
I don't know,
On the
but it
property.
was mentioned in a letter.
So this
If
brings
you're
up,
a tree cutter,
yeah, this brings up an interesting point. If this letter is unknown to the applicant, we need to be able to get it to the applicant so he understands what's being said.
Oh, it's posted on the web. It's posted here. I can pull it up.
Okay, so
It's
he can look
posted
at
on.
it.
Yeah, it's on the agenda, but it was received just this afternoon. I'll pull it up while you're going through this. I was trying to find if there. You said there was one earlier, Brad.
Yeah, I thought with the original,
It could have been.
yeah,
I don't recall. I'll look for that too while you guys
So
are going.
let's move on. We have just a couple more here. Can you go back to our,
Oh, yeah. Can you? Sorry about that. Hey, I got too many things going on here.
we
All
should
right,
be
can you
all
see
that's
it?
going on here.
All right, wait a minute.
There you
Hang on,
go.
I've been looking for the letter. All right, let's Zoe, while I'm running this, could you see if there was a letter on the original agenda package that we sent? I can't recall. And board, can you see the zoning bylaws here?
Oh.
There was no letter attached to the agenda package of the earlier hearings.
It was a complaint that came in through code. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, we might have that somewhere, but
All right, you can look for that as we
Yeah.
go through this. Item M, the outdoor storage of equipment, material, goods other than commercial vehicles. And I think the ladders would fit under this category, so that's something we need to consider.
yep.
And the last one here on this list, business activities that take place outdoors on the property. So are there business activities that occur outside?
No, I leave, I come back. Work is done on the job.
Okay. So we have a few items to discuss here on this group, but also we have to look at 833 requirement general provisions for this. And if you wanted to scroll back up to 833. There you go. Item 1, business owner must reside on the property. He does. The AHBBA is incidental and secondary to the use of the premises for dwelling. So is that the case? It's an incidental event. Brad, you have any thoughts on that?
yeah, no, it sounds like it's certainly secondary to his primary residence. I mean, he does live there. He does have, I believe he does have family there. So I think that's number one. I mean, he does have a lot of vehicles, but that's not, I don't believe is I think primarily it is a residence.
Okay, so that one's okay. Item 3, no change in the outside appearance of the premises, including buildings and grounds, not in keeping with the residential character of the neighborhood.
Yeah, we got some of that going on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one that I've had the most problem with since we first started this, a month or.
So that's something we need to reflect on.
Yeah,
No, item 4, no equipment or process shall be used in AHBBA that creates noise, vibration, glares, fume, detrimental to safety and general welfare residing neighborhood. I don't see that as an issue here.
Mhm.
AHBBA shall not generate, use, or store hazardous materials or waste in quantities greater than normal household use other than as approved by the fire chief. And as you recall, either the last meeting or meeting before, when you were describing how you're using one of your vehicles as a rolling dumpster, that seems to be greater than associated with normal house use.
I did approach the fire department and they said it was to do with the town hall. I went to the town, I guess there's no health inspector now and there's a name.
Steve
Uh,
Silverstein is working, was the
Right,
acting.
right. He was gonna
Acting.
get back to me and he didn't think that there was an issue there either.
That's correct.
Well, since they pulled out the concept of that is the fire chief has regulations in the state fire code dealing with dumpsters. And if you're using your truck as a, let's call it a portable dumpster, that's something that the fire chief needs to deal with.
The fire chief was approached. I went to the fire department and asked that office the person I went to went back and asked the chief. And the answer came back that it was a town hall issue that I should go to the town hall.
Well, sorry to say, fire chief is mistaken.
Yeah,
Because, just to give you a little background, I'm on the state fire board. We write the darn code. So, and this item's been in there for years. So anyways, that's something that, we need to deal with one way or the other, because that's part of our list of things to reflect on after we get through this list. Item 6, vehicles, parking, and traffic.
Not apply.
Off-street parking shall be provided for all of the commercial vehicles and trailers. And you've got that. You've got a huge parking space out there for those 3 or 4 vehicles.
Yeah.
So that is something you've done. Any parking area shall retain the character of the residential neighborhood. That's something we need to reflect on.
mm-hmm,
The AHBBA, any related activities, not create traffic hazards and nuisance in public right of ways. I don't think that's applicable. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Motor vehicles used in conjunction with the AHBBA and stored overnight on the property must be owned or leased by the operator of the business with the vehicle's principal place of garaging as the property address. Is that right? Is that what you've done?
That is correct.
Okay. Motor vehicles and construction equipment used under the AHBBA that are equipped with backup alarms shall not be operated on the property. So your big box truck, does that have a backup beeper?
It's got a kill switch.
So do you use it?
Yes,
Okay.
What about the dumpster truck?
it's inoperable. It hasn't worked. It doesn't get used either. I mean, it's not like it's beeping every day. I mean, it doesn't work for the few times that it does back in the driveway.
Okay. So item F on this list, light maintenance, preventative maintenance only is defined in 837 is allowed outdoors, no other repair or maintenance, construction equipment, landscape, unless done indoors without outward visible audible evidence. Now, what's this 837? Special definition. What are we looking for? Light maintenance and preventative maintenance.
It's on the screen, Mr. Chair.
Tune-ups, brake fluids. Oh, no, we just want item 2, I think, preventative maintenance.
No, any of those things pertain to the maintenance, which is how it was set up. So if you're going to do any kind of heavy construction equipment, any kind of maintenance, you need to be able to do it in a garage area, concealed, so people can't see you and people can't hear it. It was the gist of that.
Heavy is a.
And also,
Kubota.
it also talks about a time
Yeah.
limit of how many hours it would take to do a
4
certain
hours.
repair. And then there's also stuff in there about using power tools, like impact wrenches and things like that, which are noisy.
Okay. So one other item that I would like to go comment on here is, if I could find it, I just saw it. Special definitions, 837. And I want to look at number 4 in 837. So the question for you and your tractor is 3,000 pounds.
I just looked them up. And it's, I didn't look up that particular brand, but most of them are between 3 and 7.
So regardless of what Tractor Supply sells, our definition is a heavy construction equipment more than 3,000 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what is less than 3,000. I mean,
My
I
lawn
don't know
tractor.
for sure, but I'm gonna guess it's at or above.
Yeah.
So that is an item that we need to consider as we go through our debate of these items.
By the way, were we looking for the letter of commentary?
We were
Maybe
looking
not.
for a comment early on from
'Cause
somebody.
Yeah, I have it on my phone.
A letter from what? You broke up on that.
Oh, I
The
think this
email,
is
I think.
today.
No,
Not that
not
one.
today's. This is
Oh,
something from,
yesterday,
No,
right?
it was
No.
one
No,
from
today.
a month or two ago.
I have something here, Monday, 7/28/2025 at 8
Yeah.
AM.
That
That's
one was added to the agenda, but the question was whether a previous complaint or previous issue had come in, and that one was filed through, I think directly to the building commissioner, and so that was not put on the agenda at that time.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
okay. So based on what we have a series of items to consider in granting this special permit to run an AHBBA type B. It's use of an accessory building, more than one commercial vehicle and one trailer, heavy construction equipment, outdoor storage of equipment, preventative maintenance, and no change in outside appearance of the premises, not in keeping with the residential character. And so if we have something that does not fit with those items, we can make a condition, or we can say it must be so.
Can we talk about a couple of the items together? Is that okay?
Which items are you interested in merging?
Well, I was thinking that the idea of the residential character being compromised could also include the fact that there are not only one quote unquote heavy construction piece, but also 3 commercial vehicles. And there's a third part that is also part of that about, I think you said nature being, something about nature being not compromised. But anyway, I was thinking perhaps we could address the character of the residential, backyard and the vehicles, because if we solve the vehicles, it could solve the residential character. And by vehicles, I'm including the heavy construction digger, excavator.
So I think what you were thinking about with nature is the general criteria for granting a special permit.
Part of that, yes.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
that's right.
social, economic, community need, traffic flow and safety, adequacy of utilities, neighborhood character, impacts on the natural environment,
That's it. Impacts, yes.
and fiscal. That's the
But-
overarching concept that we're trying to get to consider by looking at the specific issues here for an AHBBA type B.
Yes.
So I'm thinking we start with the criteria that we just walked through of the N group and a few other ancillary numbered items, and say to mitigate specific items like outdoor storage of equipment, material, goods other than commercial vehicles, that would be his ladders and any other heavy equipment or any other equipment that he might have. At one point, we were talking a sprayer thing. I don't remember where the sprayer is when I walked there tonight. Is it inside or is it around the corner somewhere?
It was tucked behind those stones at the top of the driveway.
Okay. So maybe that's a good place to start. Take it out of the original order that we had. And the first item would then be outdoor storage of equipment, material, or goods.
Yeah, I think he's done a really good job of making them much more pleasant to view. And we're not seeing very much. I think the ladders, perhaps if that solution to the ladders that was suggested could be done in a reasonable amount of time, maybe that will take care of that.
I can certainly create a wall that would house the ladders behind that screen.
Yeah. Or put them behind that tent, the big tent.
The problem is that if they were short ladders, I could put them in the storage unit. Because it's a 3-story house and it's for my personal use, they're so long you can't put them in easy places.
Yeah.
So
But
I'll have to make an unusually wide screen to hide those ladders that are for my personal use. I mean, I don't want ladder work. I'm not a painter. You know, it's rare that I take ladder work. Those are solely for my own house.
I'll get to you in a minute, Brad, okay? The suggestion that Jackie mentioned, I think was the one that I put forth about just hanging them on one of the fences that's behind the building. That gets them out of sight, gets them off the ground,
neat.
makes it look organized.
Yeah. I think the fact that you do have personal things and business things together, and we realize that they're personal, but when you think about a residential character and all of those things are compounded by being put together, no one that's looking at your backyard can tell what's personal and what isn't. So I think it's the amount of stuff in general, which of course everyone agrees you've done quite a job with. But unfortunately, your personal ladders are adding to the amount of stuff. And that's why it's an issue.
I understand why you think, and the problem that you're having with it, or the board is having with it. I just don't know how this. It's just frustrating to me to think that I can't have ladders to fix my personal property when, you know, it's only bettering the neighborhood to be able to do that. If I have to pay somebody, it's not going to get done. It's just like the driveway. I mean, if I can't have the tractor, if I have to get rid of the tractor, do you know how long that's going to take to get done? It'll probably never get done.
So you're going on the defense again, and please don't go there. What we're looking at is for the ladders, we made a suggestion of where to put them. We never said get rid of them.
Yeah,
So-
they'll be neat. It'll be nice and neat.
So Brad, you had a comment.
Yes, I want to sort of put the ladder issue to rest. You say that you work on your house yourself. Why do you need 5 ladders of the same length? You only need 1 ladder. The other ladders are now part of your business. There's no way of looking at it as any other way.
That
It
sounds
is-
good, and it's the way you might work. But I did the front of that house. If you look at the front of that house, I had bushes on the front. I had one high, one low. I would climb the top, do the high, go down to the low. I had to go around the to have to lean them as far as I had to against the house. It was hard to lift that and move it again. I used the other one for the other side. It allowed me to get both sides and have to go onto the low roof. Doing the front of that house was absolute misery, and I did use several long ladders. It made it, because it was several coats. It wasn't just slap paint on once and be done. I mean, I put 2 and 3 coats. I had detail that had to be chased. It was back and forth all the time. And rather than having to muscle those ladders in different locations, I left them there and got the work done.
It does look like a painting crew or a roofing group that would have that many ladders. It doesn't look like a residential ladder. Most people have one ladder, or if they're gonna have 3 different ladders, they're all different lengths.
Yeah, but they're not a handyman. They're not somebody who's lived every day by tools. That's my DNA. I live by tools. I get it done. I'm the guy that does the labor that nobody else wants to do. I don't pay painters. I am the guy who is the team instead of,
So, right there, Daniel, right there, I think you crossed over into saying you do use them for your work projects.
huh?
Yeah, because you said you use them, you do the work and you get it done and so on and so forth. That's part of your.
No, that's my own house. It's who I am. I work hard. I'm insane hard worker.
Well, they need to be hung. That's all.
Yeah, but I didn't cross over into saying that I do it for work. Those ladders don't leave the house. I don't put them on anything. They stay there.
Well,
I have to acquire them because of the nature of my work. I might acquire ladders I got one of those ladders from a 1-story ranch. It was capable of doing 3 stories. They were giving it away. I bought them a short ladder to use for their house.
Daniel, last time when we were out there on that site visit, we saw one of those long ladders sticking out of your truck. So that means you were using it somewhere and you were carrying it in your truck.
That's the one that I cut up and is in the back of the truck right now in half.
So the point is, we're trying to move forward on this. The ladders, we have offered you a suggestion. Brad challenged you on it. You got the sprayer. If we can get that under wraps, that would be good. And now we move on to the next item, the heavy construction equipment, that tractor thing. It's half into a building or a tent building. Why not just make a slightly larger tent building and just have one instead of putting that screen in front of it and all, and just put it inside a building?
Well, let's hope I can do that, because if I have to, I don't know that it'll fit in a, you buy 10 by 15, it's 150 square feet, which if it's more than that, if it will only fit in a 10 by 20, now I'm putting that tent in the middle of the yard because of the setback due to the square footage.
Well,
so let's hope I can fit it in a 10 by 15.
The tent that you have it in now just needs to be, and I'm taking a guess here, 5 feet longer.
Yeah.
You know, I have a question. If you were to back that piece of equipment back farther and open the back of the tent so he could shut the flap on the front, one wouldn't be able to see the equipment, and it might solve the problem of people not being able to, stare at it. Would that be okay if it just like the back was showing a little, possibly? Because if I remember correctly, there's a fence with flowers on it in front of that tent. So that might do it without getting a new tent.
I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, next item, more than one commercial motor vehicle and one trailer. You have 3 commercial motor vehicles and no trailer. And last time you were saying maybe you'd get rid of one of the trucks and get a trailer. Still, we're talking 3 motorized vehicles and the tractor thing.
The little truck can be made a personal vehicle. It can be made personal.
Say that again, please. I missed that.
The little truck, which is hardly even, it's a golf cart, a glorified golf cart. I could take the commercial plate off and put a residential plate, personal use plate. Now we're just talking about one truck, which
Is on that mini truck, is there any logo or anything on it?
no,
The logos are only on the two big vehicles.
correct.
So, Mr. Chair,
Sure, please.
yeah, just a quick thing. When I look at that backyard, there's 4 vehicles back there. Whether they're commercial, they're not, whatever. It's unusual looking at somebody's property and their yard having 4 vehicles in it, let alone not 4, you know, a Ford Escort and a what have you, but a panel truck and a van and a little, glorified golf cart truck, which could get brought over to be non-commercial, and another truck that is used for storing things that need to be brought to the dump. That just makes the entire yard look like a commercial establishment.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it just does. Now, I know, Mr. Cormier, you've said you can't see most of that from the street. I don't argue that. You're right. I drive by there a lot and I don't look up in your yard, but when I drove over tonight, I can see a couple of your trucks up the end of the driveway. And that's fine. They're at the end of your driveway. But then when you go up the driveway, then you've got the truck, trailer, whatever you want to refer to it, that you store the stuff that needs to get thrown away, in a periodic basis. Then you've got the other small golf cart sort of vehicle that you mentioned over on the other side. That's 4 vehicles parked in the backyard, let alone anything else, the 2 tents and what have you. That's 4
right.
vehicles. I have
If
a
I-
problem with that, but
If I may push back on that a little
Yep.
bit, I've had this house for 36 years. I bought it at the time I was able to buy it because the rent would allow the financing of that house. Since I've had that house, I've had tenants on the other side and on my side. And to have 4 cars was probably the minimum that has happened there. I mean, you've got parents, they're each going to have a car. They both have to work. You've got adult kids. I've had tenants that moved in with 2 cars and they had 5 by the time they left. You try to control it, but you can't. So you get their 5 cars. I hit a point where it was gridlock. If there was snow, there was no place to move. You couldn't put it anywhere. It was a disaster. So, I mean, 4 cars to me is a blessing. What I've dealt with over the years, and it's just to think that 4 cars is a lot. Knowing what I know and the experiences that I've had over these many years, it's not excessive. And when I look at the neighbors, I mean, I could go to each house. In fact, the shared driveway that I share with is 5 cars. And that's a single family, not even a 2 family.
right, but they're not commercial trucks. That's
the only difference. But
yeah, I
the
say
number
4
of vehicles. Okay,
Yeah.
so mine are they're
Yeah.
larger than a passenger vehicle.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about
The number of vehicles doesn't really equate to me.
Okay.
it's the
Jackie, you were gonna
residential
say-
character.
Yeah, it's the residential character. So we're still talking about item J, more than one commercial motor vehicle and 1 trailer.
I think it would be fair to have 3
what, please?
3 large vehicles. I think having the excavator plus the 3 that are already there is just too much. I think that erodes the residential character.
I agree.
Okay,
So-
well, what's happening here now is the tractor would have to go away if I'm going to continue in business.
I bet you could rent it.
I'm not going to rent it. The driveway's not going to get done. I'm going to sell the house. There's just I'm not going to rent it because I don't have enough time. In order to rent something, I'd have to dedicate my time for a week to 2 weeks to get that done. I don't have that time. Now I'm paying for a rental for that amount of time. What's happening now is that property is not going to get the driveway done because I can't afford it and renting doesn't make sense. So that driveway is going to stay the way it is until I sell. And when and if I can sell, it'll all go away.
When,
Business,
Just a
I'm allowed
point
a
of-
business
point of
in one vehicle.
clarification.
So it
Daniel,
doesn't say, you know, you're allowed one business vehicle and one trailer. So that vehicle, it is a business vehicle. It is marked as a business vehicle. It is not over 25,000 GVW, which is what the parameter stipulates. I'm slightly over half of what that parameter is.
So we're getting a little on here.
I don't think so. I mean, the little truck can be made personal. The primary vehicle is what's allowed to have a type B business. So then we're only talking about the dump, which that's what the point that we would need to consider. But I don't see where there's the big issue. The tractor's the one thing, and I'll have to get rid of it. And then you're looking at a driveway that's not going to get done because I can't afford to pay somebody. That was the reason I got it, so I could do the driveway and then sell.
All right. So we need to deal with that. The next item that I have here, if I go back to my scribble notes, the one that flagged here was, as Jackie was commenting on, no change in the outside appearance, including buildings and grounds, not keeping with the residential. Is that right, Jackie?
Yeah, that's what I recollected. Yep.
Okay, so item 3 on 833. So outside appearance of the premises, including the building and grounds, not in keeping with a residential neighborhood. So the driveway you're talking about, is that the gully or the one that we walked up to visit with you?
It's the gully. If you're calling it a gully, yeah.
Okay,
That was so that the rear of the house would become a recreational area, something that I've desired the entire time I've owned this house.
I understand. I just wanted to know which driveway you're talking about. So I think those are the main items of this before we get into general special permit considerations. Did I miss anything, Zoe?
No, I believe that was it. Let me see. We had B, let's see, of the items A through N, we had items B, J, K, L, and M. And then of the 8.33 requirements, we had 3, 5, and 6, which I believe that you guys dealt with already. Hang on 1 second.
Okay, I missed on the accessory building, but he does have 2 of them, and we can bring that up as a discussion. You said L, which was what, noise and vibration?
Or the just activity, any kind of business related activity from the premises, but I don't remember what you guys decided, whether you felt that applied or not.
No, because he does most of his business work at a
Okay.
customer site.
And that was L of items A through N?
No, the L was noise and vibration, N was business activity elsewhere.
Okay, all right.
Outside, excuse me. Outdoor storage of equipment materials, that's the first one we were talking about because I went in reverse order just to
Okay,
change things around.
all right.
So we have accessory buildings, we have outdoor storage, we have the tractor as heavy equipment, and we have the number of vehicles and trailers. And so at one point, you had commented about getting rid of one of your trucks and getting a trailer. If you did that and you convert your mini truck to a regular plate, you're down to 1 commercial vehicle.
That sounds right.
So
At great expense. I mean, mind you, there's no payments on that truck. So getting a trailer is going to be another big expense. So it's just.
I can sell you one. I got one in the backyard I'm not using. And it actually dumps. It's a dump trailer.
I don't know that I can afford it no matter what your price is, but
I'm being facetious, but I do have an extra trailer.
The other thing is,
Maybe the money you get from selling one of your commercial vehicles, you'll be able to get a trailer.
the other thing is, if you're loading that truck that you use for trash, could not the small pickup be used for trash and just dump it every 5 weeks instead of every 8 weeks?
No, because there's a minimum of $120, I think it is. It's probably more now.
Oh.
It only keeps getting higher. So it doesn't make sense to make smaller trips. You need to have a
Yeah, I get
minimum, so you're not paying for in excess of what
Yeah.
you're bringing. I mean, you want to use that $120, which I don't even know. It's probably even more than that now.
Yeah, no, I get it.
You'll pay 120 every time for small loads. It's not financially
Yeah.
reasonable.
I can tell you what I do, because I run a handyman business myself, is I go to Hudson to dump it off. $90 is the minimum charge, $120 a ton. And I charge my clients, if I have to have disposal, I charge my clients and I put it in the back of my pickup truck and I have it there for maybe 2 or 3 days before I get rid of it. But I pass the cost along to my customer.
That's the way it should be.
BP. They take everything. I mean,
That's where I'm going. That's everybody in the
Cool.
greater Worcester area, as far east as Bedford, Worcester, Lancaster, they're all going to Hudson.
yeah,
$90 minimum charge.
If that's what it is. I mean,
is.
it seems to be going up. That's what it was. I wouldn't guarantee that it's still 120 because they're putting in a new facility. They're going
3 days ago. 3 days ago was 120. Was $90.
What was $90?
BP trucking in Hudson.
What was $90?
The minimum charge to dispose.
I'm hearing $120.
I was there 3 days ago.
They're charging me different.
Maybe it was
And,
over.
and that
maybe
I wouldn't put past them.
maybe head over the minimum amount.
So as we move forward on this, I believe we have captured the 4 or 5 items to consider before we get into the general special permit considerations. And before we get into that, I want to get into deliberation where you board members talk it through. And I want to ask if there's anybody at the meeting that has any comments, either pro or con, that we have not heard from yet.
nope.
So we will proceed with that. Any questions of the board members, either to Daniel or to me or Bill, as to what we need to do other than have our discussion and formulate a set of criteria if indeed we wish to formulate a positive special permit application. And by the way, I forgot to say earlier, but John has recused himself from this discussion.
I'd also like to get forwarded the information on the complainants' letters or emails.
Bill commented on that. Go to the website. It should be there now.
And where is the website?
Town of Maynard. You can Google
It's
that.
townofmaynard-ma.gov. And if you look in the agenda center under the Zoning Board of Appeals agenda for today, it'll be as an attachment, a resident comment.
Okay. That's it for me.
So, board members, are we ready to discuss?
Mr. Chair, may I make a suggestion before you close the hearing? If
Oh,
that was your intent?
please do. You're so good at this.
I was talking and I had it on mute. I didn't realize it.
That's why I wasn't listening.
Okay, yes. What I might suggest is that before the board closes the hearing, closing the hearing, it will eliminate the addition of new material to consider. And considering there's a number of details that the board has to get right, it's entirely possible that the board does not finish and wishes to continue this. And if they did wish to continue it one more to allow any proposals or whatever to work their way out, it would be an advantage to not close the hearing so we could get the new information. That's just my suggestion.
No,
I don't know.
That's a good one because I tend to want to just move forward and then close up everything when we're done.
I mean, and if the discussion helps Daniel understand what the board expects, and it does go long. I mean, we've been going longer than we normally do for sure. And you choose to continue next month. It gives him the time to work on what he's heard and potentially maybe everybody's good with it at the next time, and it stops the clock for any code action or anything like that. And just a possibility. I want to throw that out there.
No, you're always right.
Well,
I'm always trying to play catch up.
okay.
Oh. So that being said, the first and major item that Daniel mentioned, Mr. Cormier,
Yeah.
was he wants 2 additional commercial vehicles allowed as part of his business permit. That's the key thing right there. And then to have the AHBBA type B business is contingent on those commercial vehicles and these other items that we reflected on tonight. So I think the commercial vehicle item is the key. What do we want to discuss with the number of vehicles? These are registered commercial over the highway vehicles. He has 3 of them right now. He's allowed 1 by right, and he's allowed a trailer by right. So with that, do we have any comments one way or another?
Yeah, I think 2 is fair.
That means he could still get a trailer if he so desires.
Okay.
When she says 2 is fair, does that mean the 2 vehicles, or does that mean the primary and a trailer?
We're still talking that through.
So I think that having more than one commercial vehicle on the property really compromises having it be in keeping with the character of the neighborhood.
That tends to be where I'm heading to, Leslie. That's why I was reminding people that one trailer is allowed by right. And so if he had 1 commercial vehicle and 1 trailer, we do not offer him any additional commercial vehicles in the permit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is something else involved here, and it's not the board's problem, but I'm now having to create the ability to tow as well as getting a trailer. I mean, just the hardship that this board is bringing to me is I think it's over and above. But you're going to do what you got to do. You have a board. You have a responsibility to the town.
And to the laws.
It's just not.
Daniel, I hear your pain. The however is, this has been ongoing for 30 some years. And
No, it hasn't. I've not been in business for 30 something years. And if you knew what this house looked like when I bought this house,
that's
you'd
a
be
different
thanking me.
issue. That's a different issue.
Well, you say 30. I've been in business for 20, 22,
Sorry.
23.
All right, 23.
You're exaggerating.
Well, I didn't remember. I'm an old fart. So 23 years, the town has always had a bylaw that says businesses operating out of a commercial or out of a residential district need to be with a special permit. You didn't have one. We're trying to get you one. And to do that, we have to do some stuff.
I understand that. I want you to appreciate the expense that it's going to take for me to, after all this time, in order to fit within the bylaws. It's very
Frustrating.
frustrating and costly.
Mhm.
You know,
To put
after
it-
23 years and without any disturbance by any neighbors, you know, and I've had neighbors turn over now. It's every unit around me has changed over probably twice, and nobody's ever had a complaint. This is one person that's bringing this on, and you know, it's
He might have made observations that it exists, but now we are simply trying to get you to be compliant with the town bylaws. That's it.
I get it at my expense and my
Well,
pain. It's
yeah, but if you've been aware of the bylaws for the last number of years, you might have been able to prepare for this.
and how many years have the bylaws been in effect?
That's my point. As far back as I can find them, at least turn of the century.
The bylaws, as it states that I'm allowed one primary, one trailer. That's been in the books.
there. Yes, that's been in there in the table of allowed uses since way, way back.
Okay.
So what we have here, and I'm pushing on the commercial vehicles. He wants 2 additional besides the 1. And what that allows him to do, if that's what he gets, he can also, because it's allowed, get a trailer. So he can end up with 3 commercial vehicles and a trailer.
I'd much prefer, so that if that's allowed, I'd much prefer that a special permit is for variances, differences to the written allowable. And that would save me an incredible fortune and just the work in adding a trailer hitch. I mean, it's just, that's what special permits are for. Now, we can get a trailer, but what I'm going to have to do to make that happen, when I've got something that works, all it needs is that consideration that it be allowed in a special permit, which is why the special permit process is there. We're only talking about 1 vehicle and 25 years in business, and it wouldn't put me through the kind of expense and difficulty in order to maintain what I've been and nobody's complained about for all these years. So I can abide by what the rules say. I can get a trailer. There will be no more discussion. There's no special permit needed. But what is the purpose of a special permit if there's not a consideration to allow for these differences? I mean, I'm a 25-year, a 36-year resident. I've contributed greatly to this town. I've been a fixture in this town. I wound the town clock. I was the reason that the town clock kept time for 5 years.
Well, wait a minute now. You are so far off course here. We are talking certain items that we have refigured out that we need to deal with to try to get you a special permit. If you don't want a special permit, we can close the meeting right now.
I do, but it sounds like I'm being pushed into a trailer, which would resolve the problem and it wouldn't need a special permit. What I'm getting is that the special permit won't happen, that you don't like the fact that it's a commercial vehicle, and that the only thing that's going to be acceptable is that I get a trailer. So if that's the case, I mean.
No, listen to the question. You have, on your request, you want a total of 3 commercial vehicles. You can get a trailer anytime you want. And if we reduce the number of commercial vehicles that are allowed, you can get a trailer. And what have we gained? So if we're going to deal with this, my thought is you have 3 rolling stock items on your property now. And if we can cut that down to 2 rolling stock items, 1 with a motor and 1 not.
I agree.
Now you're down to something that is almost residential.
Right, but you're not offering the option of a special permit. You're railroading into a trailer, which is a big expense, and it's not just buying a trailer, it's fitting the primary with the ability to pull that trailer.
That's a $50 trailer hitch. It's not a big deal. So, get reasonable about that.
But
We have
please,
3 or 4
please.
we have
I
3
have
or
to.
4
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, but Daniel, please, the board is not trying to railroad you, and I don't think that's fair. This is a board of volunteers. It's giving their time, it's trying to work out a response, and I don't think that is, uh, I you probably in passion, but I really don't think that's fair to the board.
Well, I do think it's an issue because one person just mentioned that a trailer hitch is an easy thing to do. You just buy a trailer hitch and you have it added. But what you're talking about is the vehicle that I'm driving. It's the steps at the back that'll have to be cut and custom made to fit the back of that truck. It's not go out to Tractor Supply, buy a trailer hitch and bolt it to the back. That is not that
I'm
simple.
not minimizing any of that. All I'm saying is that I think it would be helpful to everybody and to move things along. If the board is not trying to railroad, the board is trying to work with you to arrive at solutions that are practical and that are consistent with the law. And
Working with me is allowing the special permit for the second vehicle. Anything beyond that is not working with me. It's
No,
sticking by.
Daniel, I can terminate this meeting right now if we continue like this. The
Mhm.
point is, we have found 5 or 6 items that we need to reflect on. And if we don't reflect them on favorably for you, you're done.
All right, I've said my piece on that. That's where I
Good.
stand. That
Good. Let
I'll
us
leave it at
continue.
that, but
Let us
it's not
continue then.
easy for me to do this trailer and trailer hitch.
Let us continue with the rest of these items.
Okay.
So as far as the commercial vehicle piece of the special permit to run the AHBBA type B, that's simply one item. Now we have the outdoor storage. Any thoughts on the outdoor storage? We have the fence, possibility to hang some ladders on it. We've got the sprayer thing. Is there anything else that we should be considering here that you saw on site today?
Nope.
Jackie, were you going to say something or just
Nope, I think that we discussed that, and there were some nice solutions about the ladders as far as I heard.
Okay,
So I think we're working our way through that one.
okay. The tractor. I think the solution there was to extend the canvas or shed, plastic shed building to put it inside. Does that work, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay,
So for me, that works for me. Can I just go back on one thing, just for a second? I don't want to,
please.
I don't want to belabor the commercial vehicles, but just correct me if I'm wrong. Is the big box truck, that's your trailer-ish, right? That's where you, am I right or wrong? No.
No, the big box
big
truck
box-
is the primary vehicle.
Okay. And then you've got a smaller truck when I walked up the
That's the
driveway today, am I right? You either the smaller truck, then you get the big box truck.
Yeah, they were side by side.
Yep. And then you've got the little, what you refer to as basically a go-kart.
Right.
So those are the three.
Yeah.
And so where do you store things now that you need to bring to the dump?
They go in the truck, in that second truck.
The big truck, the big box truck.
Not the box. No.
the small one.
The box truck is a rolling shop.
So that's
You
the
know-
one you use all the time.
Right.
Okay.
And that's another thing is because I'm a handyman and not a contractor, I don't build decks. I don't do large projects. I have small amounts often, not big amounts on a few occasions. You know,
Okay.
it's just I don't, death by 1,000 cuts is not the right thing to say, but it's just a lot of small amounts that when
Okay.
it takes a while for it to accumulate to the point where I'm not. And it was the other thing about $120 to pay to the customer. Well, it's small stuff, so charging them $120 where I do only small jobs. I mean, I'm unique in that they are so small that I don't generate a lot of trash. So to pass that on to the customer, it's not reasonable. And I'd have to leave, packaging. I'd have to leave, small amounts of debris with elderly people. They can't get rid of that.
No,
No, I'm go ahead. I'm good with your explanation, and I was off in my thought. I thought the larger truck was where you store things. I don't disagree. I understand, But just a quick aside on that same thing. When I had a business, I just charged everybody a standard, trash removal fee of $20. That's all.
Right,
20 bucks.
which I'm doing.
Okay,
but,
so
you know-
add all those 20s up, and then when you go to the dump and you paid $120,
Yeah, 6 people.
that's 6 customers.
Yeah, but the amount I'm charging, I can't overcharge for the small amount. I mean,
I agree.
there's some of it that they would be floored for me to charge more than what I would. And
Yep.
it still takes, it's not even going to be $20, but if I charge $20 each, it may still take a month before I can go to the dump for $120.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
I mean, I can definitely try to do it more frequently. I mean, what you saw in the back of the truck, for anybody that looked in the back there, I mean, that was my own yard that filled that truck. I mean,
So let's get back
Go
on
ahead.
track here.
Yep.
Brad had a question or
Yeah,
comment.
one last thing about the trash. You can take a construction bag, put in a little bit of debris in it that you might get from a site, because you're saying you just have a little bit left. You get a dump sticker, $4, put it out with your trash. Problem solved. I've done that before. I've even had to the point where I've had a little bit of stuff where I had like perhaps a door frame I took off. So I cut it up into a couple small pieces, so it would fit in a trash bag. Put a $4 dump sticker on it, put it out on the street. Works great.
the problem with that
I don't
is
think
that
that you need to have a rolling dumpster in your backyard that is like the equivalent of a 10-yard dumpster, and you wait till you get it filled before
well,
you do
I
that.
disagree with that, because if you're
Okay,
chopping up trim,
I'm sorry, but we're not here to try to help you make your business work for you or whatever the case is. What we're here to do is we're here to solve the problem. Okay, we're not giving you advice on how to handle your business. All right,
the town will not pick up heavy trash bags.
We're trying to find something that'll work for you.
But you're not
Okay.
giving me a solution. That's not a solution. Trash bags on the street are too heavy. They won't pick them up.
So
If I cut up a corner board on a house,
Okay,
it's
this
going to
is,
be too heavy.
okay, now we're moving on, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that we could end the public portion of this and we can go into board deliberation?
I think we're ready.
If we want to do that, there's another suggestion on the table that somebody whispered to my ear about continuing this for another month so that Daniel can look at what we're reflecting on, and if he can meet these thoughts that we're putting together and come back to us and say, yeah, I'll do this, this, and this. Does that meet everything? Otherwise, we can vote tonight, close the meeting, come up with a what do you call it? Something to vote on. And then
Motion.
you're done one way or the other.
Is there a possibility of a permit with a couple of conditions?
Yes, we can condition anything we want here.
Okay, and then it could be reviewed in 6 months or whatever, or a year.
That's right. We can put them a year late issue on it and say,
Yeah.
come back in front of the board.
Because
Hey.
I'd rather not go another month. I think the amount of time we've spent has given a lot of time for making things right.
Jackie, can I respond to that, Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll second Jackie that you can respond.
Okay. The only problem with that is if the conditions, if there are other improvements that could be made, that would become a reality by next month. It might make the findings, because we have to go through the findings either. And so if the applicant is agreeable to continuing the great progress that's been made, and he's heard the board again with his details, and that offers a possibility where the findings could reflect the current conditions. If we do findings right now and say come back 6 months, a year, whatever the case is, the findings are based on as it is today. So not telling the board one way or the other, I'm just pointing out, the avenues and trying to give the best pathways.
So one thing that we have done in past cases, Jackie, is continue it, and during that continuance, since we know what we're going to deal with the next time we meet, is to draft a decision with the various findings.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll either be Bill or Zoe's pen or my pen, and we can't share in public. I mean, that's not a public hearing at that point. It's simply gathering what we think it's going to be. And
Uh-huh.
then we review that at the next meeting. And if the rest of the board agrees, then we move the motion for that set of special permit and criteria.
Okay.
And so that's the direction I'm leaning right now, whether Bill writes it or Zoe writes the draft to say, you know, we will grant a special permit with A, B, and C conditions because we found X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
But to give Daniel that extra month to finish what he was pushing to get done, and he confessed the ladders were a last minute thing, fine, get it done, relax a little bit, come in front of us next month, and we're done.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Brad?
Yeah, I think we did this last meeting. I think some of us spoke up and told, expressed our concerns and what our sticking points were. And that those, I believe, most of those sticking points have not been addressed after today's site meeting. So I don't know that there's going to be any improvement, no matter how many.
Can I ask you what I didn't address?
How far we kick this down the road?
What did I not address? Give me the points that you say I did not address, that we haven't discussed this meeting.
Daniel, I don't know if Brad is right or wrong, but what I will ask is if Bill could pull up our minutes from the last meeting, because I think we might have mentioned the kinds of things in there we wanted to look at.
I mean, I spent the last month addressing everything that I knew of.
Right.
And he's telling me that I didn't address them.
Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But our minutes that we just voted on are supposed to be what we did.
Okay, hang on, let me pull them up here.
I'd like to know what those are.
Yeah, we're getting there. He's getting ready to pull them up. The draft minutes were also on the website if you'd wanted to look at it.
Yeah, I've just got the final ones that we approved tonight. I haven't had a chance to put them on the website yet, but that was for 6/16.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And I'm going to share. And let's see if I make it a little bigger.
Oh, that's great. So there's Brad's comments right there. Number of commercial vehicles to 1, screen the tractor, and remove visible debris.
So several points. I mean, what do I see there but one?
There's 3
There's 3.
under Mr. Schultz.
The tractor was screened. I built, through a lot of effort, made a screen so that it can't be viewed. You know, you're saying that it can be viewed from the backyard, so I screened from the street. But it's not like nothing was done there. I mean, certainly I've done quite a bit for that point. Clear any visible debris piles. All the debris was removed. I mean, I don't know what debris that you're seeing that was not removed. Reduce the number of commercial vehicles to 1. I mean, that's the one thing that, how do I just get rid of the vehicles? I mean, if there's a point that can be saying that I did not address, it's only that top one.
That's a big one.
But it's not a number of, like Brad Schultz is telling me. Like, there
That's
were a number
why-
of things that weren't addressed. They were addressed.
Daniel,
I put too much effort in this last month to be told that I didn't
Daniel.
address the points.
Daniel, that's why I asked to have the minutes put up so that we can reflect on our memory as to what it was.
Okay, fine. I digress.
All right. These digressions, besides wearing our patience very thin, is wearing our next hearing person the wrong way. And so let's move this thing forward. We've been on this now 2 hours. listening to all these issues. And we haven't gotten anywhere, except to say, we're going to draft a decision with various findings between now and next month. And we're going to put those out for review next month at the meeting. We'll talk it through. And we'll go from there. You heard what the board wants now, what we've reflected on, what it,
Yeah.
the one vehicle thing, I had forgotten that last time, but it's still there. And frankly, I brought it up this time as one vehicle and one trailer, period. And so that's right back down where we were thinking last month. So let's go with that. And I would like to get a motion to continue this until our August meeting, if we're having an August meeting. Is that true?
It's 25th. Zoe, do you know offhand if there were any dates on the calendar? We scheduled them already. I don't remember if there are any changes without a holiday or anything like that. Let's take a peek real
I've
quick.
received nothing that would cause me to reschedule or cancel any meeting. No notifications of anything.
Oh no, but is it on our do you have our calendar in front of you by chance? Let me just
Yeah, hang on one second.
Yeah, I just know because you know, if there might have been a holiday or something we forgot. I don't think there's anything, but we've
Yeah, I
missed
believe so.
elections or stuff like that, you know, and then we have to do the whole
Bear with me one second.
when we did it originally we would have checked it. So
Let's see. 25th, we have a zoning board of appeals scheduled.
okay.
Is
So we
it
already checked it
August
out.
25th?
Yes.
All right, so I make a motion that we continue this hearing until the normally scheduled meeting on August 25th.
And that will be a
Second.
virtual meeting.
Second,
Great. All in
All right.
favor?
Yes.
aye.
Aye. Brad? Yes, thank you. Brad said yes as well.
All right. Our next item.
So we'll see you a month from now, Daniel,
Yeah, what time?
7 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Chair, might we make a site visit again like we did this time?
I
I'm
was
assuming
thinking that too. Thanks for bringing
we
it out.
should. I'd
So
say
make a motion
5:30.
to that effect.
For what time?
So I would amend the first motion for continuance of this hearing until August 25th. That portion of the meeting would begin at 7 p.m. as did this evening. But the board would make a site visit between 5:30 and 6:30 as we did this week.
Okay.
Do I get a second?
Second.
Leslie seconds, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Leslie, yes. Jerry, yes. Jackie, yes.
yes.
Ed, yes. I'm a yes. Okay, so that's
Okay.
under control. We'll see you in a month, Daniel.
All right. Very good.
Thank you
Thank
very
Good
much.
night.
Aye.
All right. Our next okay, do you want me to pull up the agenda, Mr. Chair?
I've got something here. What am I looking at? We're not on Walnut Street anymore. We're on Garfield.
25 Garfield has continued.
Yeah,
The subject property, there was a little bit of a kerfluffle on the last hearing. I believe oh my goodness, is the applicant still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, geez, okay.
well,
Sorry.
first of all,
All right.
thank you very much for persevering on being here.
Not a problem.
So talk about your kerfluffle there,
No,
Bill.
the kerfluffle was just a scheduling kerfluffle. And it was the applicant had been working with the building commissioner and on some plans and just a misunderstanding on the scheduling. The board was foresightful enough to continue the meeting so that the hearing stayed open. At the last minute, also the applicant did come in and mention that it was bringing in some amended plans. Zoe, I'm gonna turn it over to you for a minute. I think you're more familiar with the specific plans if you have them there.
Sure. Yeah. One
Well,
second. Let me pull
first
those
of all,
up. Oh,
before we get into the
okay.
detail, we
Yeah.
have to open or continue, actually open the continued hearing.
Yes, correct.
We haven't
Yes,
done that
correct.
yet.
correct?
So I know we're excited to get this in and out and done. Fortunately, I have a fan on my back, but still it is hot and sticky in here. Anyways, let's move on. So the next public hearing is out of 85 Garfield Ave, continued from 6/16.
25 Garfield
Right.
Ave. Excuse me.
Did I say it wrong again? Yeah. Pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 48, Section 5, Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a remote public hearing continued on Zoom video to hear all persons interested in the application filed by the owners Ted and Elizabeth Kobla, 25 Garfield Ave, Maynard, is subject property, 25 Garfield Ave, the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling due to insufficient front setback, 25 feet required, but they only have 13.9. The home is located on non-conforming lot in S1 single-family zoning district. Non-conformity is due to insufficient size, 10,000 required and 8,000 square feet provided, and insufficient frontage, 100 required, 80 provided feet. The applicant are requesting a variance granting relief from Section 4 of the bylaws to construct an addition to the property that would extend the existing non-conforming front setback and create a new nonconformity by exceeding building coverage limits, 15%, 1,200 square feet allowable. And on this reading, it's 21.3%, 1,703 square foot proposed. And I believe those numbers have changed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so we missed talking last month, so now we're here and bring us up to date, please.
Sure.
Somebody-
All right. So I can just give an introduction to what Mr. Burke has brought to us to take a look at. And let me just share my screen here. Okay. All right. So the new proposal is a reduction of the proposed addition from its original size, which was, one second, my cat has decided to take the opportunity to walk in front. The original proposed size of 765 square feet. The new proposed deck size is 423 square feet and now includes a rear deck. So there's been, let me see if I have a good trick. I can take these two and put them side by side so you can actually see them next to each other. Okay, so the original is on the right, screen right, and the new proposal is screen left. And this would be, it would represent, according to the building commissioner's calculation, 2.275% over the coverage limit. So going from 15% allowable to 17.275% proposed, as opposed to 21 and change proposed in the original proposal.
Okay, Zoe, could you make these two diagrams the same size so I can think it's the same property?
Yes.
You've got
sorry,
a
one
90
second.
and a 125 on the extent.
Yes.
So
hang
one
on
bigger or
second.
one
Yep,
smaller?
Yep. Sorry, it's
There
I
you-
need to make sure because these scans were not necessarily done to the same scale. So one second, I got only one screen. And okay, so yes, all right, now they are the same.
Excellent. Appreciate that.
Sure.
And
Um,
so the footprint that I'm seeing on the new one on the left is he trimmed it from 20 feet down to 16 feet.
that's correct.
And the going back distance is sort of about the same.
The enclosed area is gone from 40 feet to 28 feet. And
Oh,
now
okay.
there's an
Yep.
additional 12 feet as a rear deck instead of enclosed.
Okay, and the percentage that the building commissioner supplied, is that including the deck or not?
Let's see. I think it's including, it's not a covered deck, and so it wouldn't be calculated in building coverage. So I believe that from what he sketched out, that it was, let's see. So it would be if you can read that sideways. 1,200 allowable, 938 or 939 existing, 241 allowed beyond, with a 423 square foot addition. That's 182 over, which is 17.275 over.
Or to 2% over.
Yeah, two and 2.75% over.
Okay. So where I think we left this off, and it's taxing my feeble memory. But I think the issue we had was, what's the hardship? And so now we're getting close to the range where it might be de minimis. I'm stretching that a little bit, but I'm thinking it might be down to where it's not a big deal anymore.
Mhm.
I
So,
believe that I can, if you would like to recognize the applicant to comment on any other aspects of the application. There was no
You're so right.
no other materials were submitted other than the revised plans with the reduced size of the proposed addition.
Okay, you are right. I was getting out of sequence again.
No, I'm just saying if you want to touch on that, I don't have anything to inform that from my materials, so the applicant may want to opine on that.
It's his
Yeah.
application.
Right.
So go for it, Janie.
All right. Sorry, my name's Richard. That's my sister's computer.
Oh, sorry. That's all I'm reading is the label. Sorry.
I know it's kind of weird, but that's okay. Thank you. I appreciate the board for extending to the following month. I do appreciate that. Yeah, we reduced it. So now the work area is gone on the side, and we reduced it from the 20 feet to the 16 feet. Now it's basically just a bedroom, bathroom, and a laundry, so that it's all on the one particular floor with the kitchen for the applicants for their age. So, and the deck was just added on to so they could, because they don't have a deck, they just have the front porch on the front. So I was just trying to, give something they can enjoy off the back, and it's not covered. So. I almost reduced this in half from the last time I made the application. So,
Sure. And how high off the ground is this deck?
same level as the first floor. So it's going to be probably maybe 2 feet, if that.
Okay, so it's reasonably close.
Yes.
Okay. So I've said my initial comment thoughts. Board members, comments, please. Questions, please. Anything you have for Richard.
So the driveway is off of Garfield, and it looks pretty short, right?
It is. It would
Yeah.
still remain along the side of that.
Mhm.
On the other side of that 16 feet. I don't know how to point it out to you.
Well, I mean, it looks good to me.
Yeah, me too.
What are you whispering among yourselves? I missed that.
That we think it's a good change.
Okay. Now, just remember that we have to find a hardship unless we can convince ourselves it's very small of a change over the limits. But the limits that were read is we have insufficient frontage, insufficient lot size, and exceeding the building coverage. And that's a big lift for just saying it's a little bit. So,
well, Mr. Chair, the pre-existing nonconformities of frontage would not be exacerbated. There's no new nonconformity being created other than that of lot coverage.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody keeps me in control.
And
That's a
did you say it
question.
was 2%?
2.275%.
Yeah.
Okay, John, you had something?
That was my question. Thank you.
So
Just for clarification, could you repeat that? The 2% of
2.275% over the 15% lot coverage maximum allowable in the zone. The lot being undersized as a pre-existing nonconformity, and the setbacks being pre-existing but not altered by the proposal.
Thank you.
And what sorts of things might qualify as being hardships?
They would have to be due to the well, we were just discussing this today, the soil conditions, the topology, the nature of the landscape of the lot itself compared to other lots in the zone. So it has to be a hardship that's due to the particulars of the lot itself, not a personal hardship held by the owner.
And so the only thing I can add to that for this particular application is that it's a nice lot. It's flat, but it's small. And so by having a small lot, is that the hardship that we have to deal with?
In a way, because it prohibits them from doing this, like configuring it any other way, I guess. I mean, other than building up.
Yeah. So the other thing I see comparing these two diagrams is you're extending the nonconformity on the front lot line. In the right-hand diagram, you got a 25-foot setback dotted in there. And on the left one, you're just acknowledging where the square of the new structure will be, and it's within that 25 feet. So that's still an issue. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, we're still following the same
Frontage.
frontal.
Yeah.
Same frontal as what was proposed before by the surveyor, so.
Yeah, and that is where was it? It's 25 foot required, and you got 13.9 feet, and you're going to extend that 13.9 feet along that frontage line. Is the way I'm reading this.
I believe it's 19.8 feet.
Yeah, you're including the front porch, which we're not adding on.
Okay, so you're closer, but the way that dotted line is on the right-hand diagram, that's still within the building. So there's something there, yeah.
There's this 5 feet between the exterior and
Yeah.
hang on, I have drawing tools.
So that is still
Here's the
something to
setback.
consider.
And here's the current front of the building. So
Yeah.
this is, yeah.
So even though that right-hand diagram is not what he wants, the left-hand diagram is running the same frontage line.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. So he needs that 5 foot relief for his frontage. That's straightforward to do. That's not a heavy lift. The heavy lift is the percentage. Right? Because that's the two issues that we have to deal with on this one. The side setback's okay. It's the percentage coverage and extending the front setback. The nonconformity of the front setback.
Okay.
So, any other questions, comments from anybody on the board? I'm tired of doing all the talking. That's the thing.
But you're doing a great job,
We're
Paul.
learning.
Yeah, we're
mean-
we're learning from you.
Well, one thing,
and-
yeah, I could share a screen if you want, just looking at zoning map of that area. And in our S1, it seems, and some of the board will appreciate this, it's a little bit inconsistent with the way the S1 was designated here, and it's adjacent to a general residence area. I do see a couple of lots that are about the applicant size throughout the next couple of streets or something, but by and large, it's one of the smaller lots in the S1. It's probably more suitable for general. Here, I'll share if the board would like.
And if you made it general, Bill, does that change the two nonconformities?
Oh, I don't know. I'll look that up. Okay, so here's what this is a subject here. And so this block, it's kind of smaller, and then across the way is a little bigger. These guys here are smaller, and then they go more back to, for the S1, this is probably not a good, this is a poster child for our project that we're kind of working on, really, when I think about it. And you see the proximity to general residence. I would say that this lot, and this lot are disadvantaged by being in the S1 neighborhood with such an undersized lot. That would be my thought. But second
so-
question, what did you ask me?
Well, just comparing the criteria, the setbacks for both the general and S1 is 25 feet. So that's still an issue. The square footage goes from 10 down to 7,000.
That's correct.
So that basically relieves one of the issues. Right? Well, no, wait a minute, excuse me. I'm wacky. 40% building coverage. And so, yeah, because it's only 40%, it is 40% of 7,000, he gets, that one goes away.
Yeah.
And so all we have
Are
to do
you
is,
saying, are you saying that you're working on changing the zone?
No, that
and-
wouldn't be,
And that this property will
no,
change,
that's,
or
no,
it's
I don't want
just
to
in
misrepresent that at all.
proximity?
A project that a couple of the members were working on, it's been on hiatus recently, but it is because of the erratic lot shapes in some of these areas are not suitable for the district they're in. And S1 is, you could see that in this area, I mean, there's these are undersized lots. And all I'm saying, the only point I'm bringing up is that the smaller lot in this property probably is at a disadvantage because the S1 does have a higher or a lower coverage threshold than
Mhm.
other, and so by losing that extra, it's what, about 20
be 2,800.
2,000 square feet, yeah, under. Just some
Mhm.
food for thought.
Yeah.
And so if we look at it that way and say, yeah, it because of the way it was zoned out 14,000 years ago, it should have been a general size rather than an S1 size. In which case, the coverage is irrelevant because he's well within the coverage at that point. And it's only the extension of the setback because the front setback is the same 25 feet for both.
It
An
would be a
extension-
special permit request.
Right.
Or if it were in GR, it could be done with a special permit.
Right. And a special, that's why I say it was easy to do an extension of a non-conforming front line. As you say, that's special permit, so that one would work fine. So now, if we're in agreement with this, we just have to figure out some way to make it hold up in a court of law if it ever goes that far. In other words, say it accurately. Does that make sense, guys, ladies?
Yes.
And would we have to declare it a de minimis situation?
It would either be de minimis or the other argument would be it's more like a designed general lot than an S1 lot. And if it's a general lot, the percent coverage is not an issue. And it's only the extension of the front setback, which we would offer as a special permit if it was a general, but it's not, it's an S1. And so
Mhm.
somehow we got to cover both of that in our phraseology of the finding.
I think the fact that it's a corner lot and therefore you're not infringing on a side neighbor makes it,
Except where this construction is, it's on the side neighbor side, isn't it?
oh,
There's
well,
there's no neighbor on the other side either. The house is it's not a building. That corner of that lot that's not theirs is not buildable.
Okay,
I think we had,
So that's all woods. That's all, that whole corner up around that That round area is all, it's woods, and the house, their neighbor's house is further up the street.
Yeah.
And I think we had letters in favor of the building, correct? From the neighbors. I think I remember
Your memory's better than mine.
that. Sometimes.
So I think this is where we're at. Does it make sense what I tried to outline logically? Brad,
Sorry, I have a question that you may have already answered. I lost power to my computer, so I had to step out for a couple of minutes to get back into the meeting. As I recall last time, the only concern that we had was the percentage of coverage to making it conforming and non-conforming, because there are several non-conformities to the property, and the this addition was going to affect the final non-conformity, which was the coverage. So we had some concerns about that. So they came back with a different plan, which was still over the percentage of coverage by 2.275%. What does that translate to in an actual square footage? You probably said that, and I didn't hear it because I was logged out.
The proposed size of the addition is 423 square feet. And it represents an excess of, I believe, 187 square feet from the allowable maximum.
187. So you're to get that back into
I'm sorry,
conformity,
182 over.
182 feet. So what are we looking at? I mean, we're looking at 4 feet more off one side, or what are we looking at to make it so it's conforming to the coverage?
well, the building is what, 20 feet on that long side?
28 feet.
28 feet.
Yeah.
So,
But the proposal is only 16 feet, because we're not talking about the deck, because the deck doesn't come into play with this.
Let me pull
coverage.
this back up.
I apologize for this.
No.
I'm sorry that I
Things happen.
lost my
All right,
power.
so here we have the, it's the
Twenty-
new proposals on the left, the original is
28
on the
feet.
right.
so he'd have to
Right.
nip that room by 6 feet, 7 feet, which makes it not much of a room.
Right.
Right.
Can I also bring up the point that the farmer's porch off the front is not considered a Massachusetts living area, but you guys have a bylaw that anything with a roof, but if they go and sell that house, they cannot include that front porch as living area. And that's almost 180 square feet.
Well, we're not talking about living area. We're just talking about coverage.
No, I
coverage area.
understand that, but they can't use that 6 months, 7 months out of the year, the front porch. You follow what I'm saying? It's like, but you're considering it living area.
It's not considered, sorry, just to interrupt, it's not considered living area, but it is considered to be coverage for this, in the sense that it's a building that has a roof over it, for the purposes of, we were discussing things like, rain infiltration or, other impacts on the lot by having a roof.
So, okay, so back to Brad's question, Zoe, if you could use your magic pencil
Yep.
and draw through that rectangle from northeast to southwest, about 1/3 in from the 28 mark.
Hang on one second, trying to get this thing to go away. So,
Actually, Zoe, if you can,
Oh, the other way, Zoe.
you can
No,
pull up
no,
the floor plan, it might be easier to look at.
no, let me
Okay.
let me explain this.
Sure.
okay,
So go from about where the 6 is on the 16 and
Yeah.
draw it up parallel to the 28 to where it runs into that zigzag upright.
this way,
Yes.
okay.
And so to answer Brad's question, 182 feet would throw away anything to the left of that line.
So this is what you'd be left with.
And anything there is your left.
So you're looking at, so if you went to so what you're saying is that the area in that square footage. So to stay, I'm sorry, but to stay in the 15% range, you need to have how many square feet?
200, let's see, hang on a second.
A total of, to bring it up. to stay in
It can be
15
two hundred forty-one is the
Two fo-
maximum addition.
That they could have.
Yes,
Okay, so basically that's, you're looking at, 241, you're looking at a 10 by 24 area.
yes.
Approximately, yeah. Well, it's 28 feet the long ways. plus or minus.
I mean, you could cut it down into, I mean, it's a cookie cutter, so you could put it any shape that you
Yeah.
want.
But my point is, it's almost cut in half of what he's asking to stay within coverage. And maybe while you were disconnected, we were talking about if this was a general residence, he would
Yeah.
be fine.
Right.
The only issue would be a special permit to extend the front nonconformity along the existing building line.
Right, but it's not, so that's,
And so if
to me,
he's,
that's not, to me, that's not a point. So I guess
But
what
it-
we're trying to figure out is what is a good compromise, and if he's only over 2.2%, which turns into how many square feet? 180,
182.
182 over.
182 feet, which is the equivalent of a 28-foot length. It's like you're talking about more like 4 feet, right? 3 feet. Right.
So the way I see it is we have a couple of ways to approach this. Since several of the neighboring lots are in general, and this would not have been a problem, and this is basically adjacent to them, and it becomes a problem, and we look at what the hardship is, the size of the lot can be considered as a hardship because of it, what the neighborhood is like. Another way to look at it is the 2% or 180 square feet for this is a de minimis event. And so we have those two ways to work it through because the numbers are much more manageable now than they were when they first approached us.
I'm inclined to go with the de minimis.
I would agree, because if you're looking at 200 or 128 feet, what did you say? 280,
182. It would
182
be,
feet.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so you're looking at a half a foot, basically 6 inches along the 28-foot length. That is, it's over.
So the way I would like to propose our findings is that it is de minimis and give the numbers, but it is also a neighborhood consideration where the adjacent buildings or properties are of the general character rather than an S1 character. Does that make sense? Oh, Master Bill?
Well, in where you're going with it, I agree with. I think my phraseology would be that this is an area that the board has previously identified that there are some inconsistencies where the S1 zone is applied to properties that are clearly not of the size and to the restrictions, and the hardship would be that they're prevented because they have a undersized lot from having the typical amenities of the neighborhood.
So is this meeting being recorded?
Yeah.
Good, because you just wrote the decision.
Oh,
There are no fewer than 3
Yes.
zones to be found on Garfield Avenue.
really? 3? Wow. So that's
So I would suggest that we have made some findings, right? And we've had our discussion all in this open meeting, so I don't have to worry about closing the meeting out of order. And is there any other discussion points that we want to ask Richard or debate amongst ourselves? Or are we set with this as a possible finding and resolution to it?
Have we had any input from abutters?
The memory of Jackie said that we did last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had people, I remember, we had people that were on the Zoom meeting. We had
Oh,
neighbors,
that's right.
two neighbors that spoke in favor.
Right.
Mhm,
Mhm.
that's right.
And they were abutters.
Good.
That was in was that
2
in
months
March?
ag- Yeah, 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So where are we? July? That would have been
May,
May.
June,
May.
May,
May.
May, sorry.
Oh, God, wrong one. Hey.
So I guess the only comment that I would make that I'm kind of curious about is that if it's only 6.5 inches along that 28 feet that would put this into conformity, why not just take the 6.5 inches off the
I,
length of it,
I
and
think,
then you don't have to be in front of us at all?
Brad,
I think your math
algebra-
is wrong.
Yeah, your algebra is wacky. It
It's
would be
6.5 feet.
1/3.
A little bit.
Well,
You
you
get
said it's
9.
it's 128 square feet.
No, it's 423 square feet, which is itself an excess of 182 over what is allowed. So if they were to reduce the size of the proposal by 6.5 feet of width,
Oh,
then they could, and it would cut the
okay.
proposal in half.
Okay. So it's 182 in there.
That's
Yes.
that line I had Zoe draw
Okay.
approximately across the box.
Okay. Divided by 28. Yeah, that's 6.5 feet. Okay. Yep. All right. Thank you. I'm sorry for my math.
That's all right. It's late. And I assume your air conditioning works as well as mine.
It's doing pretty good.
I got the old school one.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't had to change my shirt during the hearing, during our meeting yet, so we're good.
So
What are we ready to do?
I would like to have somebody make a motion to the effect that we've sort of tried to outline it, that it is de minimis, and our findings, one, it's de minimis, two, it's very similar to the neighboring general residence items, which case it would not be a problem.
So do we have to close the discussion part of the meeting first, or?
We don't have to.
Oh, all right.
Well, yeah, you'd want to close the public hearing.
Well, then we can't hear.
Oh,
Well,
if you
the
still want new
motion to-
information, yeah.
Yeah, well, you never know. We might, but let's
Okay,
get,
very well.
I just
All right.
as soon get the whole thing open and done because we don't have a big audience here.
Okay, so I make a motion to grant the variance, well, to grant relief from section 4 of the zoning bylaws to construct an addition to the property at 25 Garfield Street.
Garfield Ave.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, there's a difference.
Garfield Ave.
Assume here.
Okay, to construct an addition to the property at 25 Garfield Ave to extend the existing non-conforming
Yeah.
front setback and create a new non-conformity by exceeding the building coverage limits. And the findings are that there are inconsistencies in the neighborhood in terms of the zoning, and that the request made by the homeowner is deemed to be de minimis.
And we do want to go through the other two determinations here.
That the literal enforcement of the provision of the ordinance or bylaw would involve substantial hardship, financial or otherwise, to the petitioner. And that the desirable relief may be granted without substantial detriment to the public good and without nullifying or substantially derogating from the intent or purpose of such ordinance or bylaw.
Do I get
Do
a
I get
second?
second?
Yeah,
Second.
Gary's gonna second.
Okay.
And Leslie, just so you can amend a little bit, your determination on 2 and 3, could you just give a little bit why? So you did on 1, we talked about that it was consistent with the other areas, it was smaller, and the home was consistent with the other surrounding areas.
Oh,
But little enforcement, I would just clarify that, what you, in
well,
this case, it's connected to subject property, so something that the board,
oh,
smaller lot, for example.
yes, this, also given the fact that the lot is small and that, that it does, on 2 sides of the property, there are not, other residences because it's a corner lot. And that, somebody help me out here.
You're doing great.
You're doing,
Yes, you should take notes too, but you're doing great putting it together.
Well, I
And
think too that the neighbors, it's not detriment to the public because the neighbors already said that they were okay with it.
Yes.
so there's a bunch of findings that go with this. We sort of hashed them around in different ways, but the neighbors find that there's no detriment. We find there's no detriment. There's a bunch of them like that. And Bill can clean it up. He's good at cleaning up our gobbledygook.
Yeah.
So are we all set? Do we have a second? Jerry, did
do.
you second it?
Yes, I did.
All right. And no further discussion, right? So all in favor? I see a
Aye.
bunch of hands. Jerry's yes, Leslie's yes, John is yes, Brad is yes, and I'll be a yes. So it passed unanimously. So at this point, I like to put Bill on the spot to give the applicant a timeline of what happens next.
yeah, Zoe's, I think, Zoe, you want to do it?
Sure. So, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
There
board.
is, there is now a 20-day appeal period.
Okay.
There is a 20-day appeal period that begins upon the date of the recording of the decision of the town clerk's office, which we will try to expedite in order to help that, period of time, pass as efficiently as possible.
Okay.
That 20-day appeal period, once elapsed, if it elapses with no appeals, then that's the owner's obligation or the applicant's obligation to have the decision recorded at their Middlesex South Registry of Deeds, which is in Cambridge. And once proof of that recording is returned to the office, then there will be no further obstruction to application for the building permit. Anything else to add? Bill?
I think that's it, right? You're
Bill's
muted again.
Muted.
Oh, I forgot what I said. No, yeah, that's, Zoe got it, right there. And when we send we'll send, the, applicant a, copy of the decision once it's recorded with the clerk. Go on the clock. There's instructions that will come in that email exactly how to proceed
Okay.
with it. But I
And
think
then,
you're
yeah.
generally familiar with it.
So
We'll reach out to you and,
Okay.
yeah, we appreciate your patience on all this.
yeah,
Alright.
and I was going to reiterate that too, Richard. I mean, this has been one hell of a night for us, and we really appreciate you hanging in there.
I appreciate the board and I appreciate the decision. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck.
Thanks again.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
You too.
Now, before we go to the next motion, which everybody is dying for, according to this, we have to, item 4 on our agenda is an election of a chair and a vice chair for FY 26.
Hmm.
And I tried to protect you, Jerry, because I think we had just voted you in, but it turned out that your what do you call it, period of vice chairing runs out the same time mine does. You were
Oh.
interim.
I feel so bad about that. That's terrible.
So
Only
we
kidding.
have to have another vote for another cycle. So
If somebody else would like to step up and take that position, that would certainly be okay with me too.
So
I'm not
I'm
offended.
thinking.
I would
Jerry should-
volunteer to be the vice chair. And I like Paul as the chairman.
Well, I was gonna nominate Jerry as the chairman.
No. No. That's not happening.
So Leslie, Jackie, John, thoughts?
I don't think I can be. I think I'm a rookie.
Uh,
I think I
any-
can pay my
any-
time, do my time.
No, but are you in agreement with whatever Brad said? Or
Yes.
so you think Brad should be the vice chair and relieve Jerry of that very strenuous position?
If he wants to be.
Fine with me.
So is that a slate of officers that I hear in front of us? I'm stuck with this again?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, Paul,
Yeah,
if you're up for it,
you do it
whether
well.
you've got, whether you want to or not, I guess.
I tell you, not out of school or anything, but our first hearing tonight, I was trying to figure out how to deny his permit and just move forward.
Mhm. I agree.
Mhm.
He was right on the edge for me.
Yeah.
And so if somebody else wanted to take that on and do that, boy, they should have spoken up on me.
Uh,
Oh, it's tough.
Well, it has never been our job to solve an applicant's problem.
Mhm.
And we certainly gave him a lot of good solutions.
Yeah, he's too busy arguing.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
you make a good point. I think this board and in general, we're trying to show paths to success where possible. And I think that's in the best interest of the town and everything. And you can't, it's a very difficult. The sport's had some tough ones the last couple of years, and they're going to be some coming up still. Probably we don't even have
Yep.
thought about. But I think going forward with the idea, how do we make it work? And if it's not going to work, here's why it's not going to work. Here's if it can work, how you make it work. I take that approach with pretty much every applicant, and a lot of it's on the you can't do that for them, but we try to work with applicants offline quite a bit too. Not in this particular case, we haven't done it as much, but often, we'll sit down with them, and that's why we were asking last year when the question came up about why are we not getting applicants, or what the ones that we get, we're not, there's not a lot of denials stuff. We try to weed them out, and if it's not going to work, I wouldn't waste your $280 and your mailing or whatever.
Mhm.
But I think this board's been very, very diligent and worked hard where we'll see.
So anyways, what I'm hearing is that you guys want me again for a year. And
Yeah,
Brad is volunteering to be my support staff if I can't make it.
Oh, good.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I need a motion to that effect and a second and then a vote.
all right, to make a motion to nominate Paul for chair and Brad as vice chair.
And I'll second.
Right. Okay, and then a vote. Anybody in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
How many do we
Oh,
have to have?
Yeah.
Is this
Jackie,
just a
you in favor?
majority?
Yeah, it's.
I didn't hear you, Jackie. Are you in favor?
Yes, wasn't sure if I could vote.
Yeah, you're a member.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna vote twice. I
say
agree
I
yes.
with you.
thought Jerry's gonna put up two hands.
Yes.
So this should end the meeting tonight, but
One other thing before you do end that, Mr. Chair.
yeah, because I'm
I just
not
wanna-
ending it.
I want to make sure with that chair that we're going to, the board, are there any objections to continuing with having the chair sign decisions rather than requiring the full board to come in?
Okay.
And that's something that probably should take a vote on just for
Oh, yeah, that's a good
posterity.
point. I
All right,
forgot.
and make a motion that the chair be allowed to sign on our behalf.
I second that.
Okay, and then all in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, Jerry's yes, John's yes, Leslie's yes, Brad's yes, Jackie, you yes too?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, so we're all yeses.
Mhm.
So just sort of like a follow-up, I spent, what was it, 2 hours today in the lovely company of Bill and Zoe hashing over stuff. And it got pretty lively at times about stuff. And I'm a little burned out right now, excuse me, about all of that stuff. So Zoe, could you sort of summarize what we talked about and where it comes in to hit the rest of the board?
It was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of stuff. Well, okay. I think that this is everybody's tired, so this is better served for a fresh discussion at a later date. But I think what we've been trying to do internally is to develop a set of guidelines that are both internal for the board and also assisting applicants to understand how their application will be reviewed by the board. And to give them a more holistic understanding of how the board is going to be going about making its decisions, both based on statutory requirements that bind the board's authority, and also the more, I guess you could say, holistic view of the interests of furthering the zoning bylaws, the interests of policies in the town, and things that are not necessarily chapter and verse of the zoning bylaws that you can quote. So it would be helpful to have a board meeting in which we could talk about making something that describes, when you bring a special permit application before the board, here's how they're going to approach this. Here are some of the things that they're going to take into account. It's not exhaustive, but it's both helpful to someone who might be new to the board and also helpful to an applicant to give them an idea of what they're really supposed to be advocating for, how the decision is arrived at.
One thing that we spent quite a bit of time on with no resolution, except the favorite word of both Bill and Zoe is this thing called nexus. And it goes back to my request a while back, and Jerry, I think you've made a motion to it, of if we're gonna require, let's say, dark sky, or plant a tree if you take a tree, or pervious pavement, or a litany of other things, where do we get the authority to be able to even ask that, and how is it connected to the project?
Yeah.
And it turns out it's not a simple list. That's what I learned from today's discussion. It's not a list. It's, can we follow, say, town dreams in the various town documents of what they would like to see for improvements? And how do we sneak that into a zoning issue that doesn't get us into trouble if the guy doesn't want to do it? If we deny a permit because he doesn't want to put in a dark sky thing, do we have any grounds to argue against the Superior Court when they take us to court? Because if there's no nexus, I mean, I think that means connection, but that's a word that the town likes to use. If there's no connection, how can we substantiate that we need that? And that's the kind of stuff for a later date to try to get everybody up to date as to what we can and can't ask for. Is the way
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if a thing is to be asked for, how a decision is written in order to express the fact that this condition is being made due to the particulars of the issues at hand, due to the specificity of the application at hand, as opposed to a normative principle that it's good to have these things. As in, this addresses a problem, or this is going to mitigate a potential problem because of the facts on the ground.
and how it's related to the request is the key. And this all was, I mean, this is not a new issue with any sort of takings or eminent domain or any restrictions placed on property. And this has been hashed out, but in general, we just have to ensure, and we'll help. We haven't done anything that I don't think works on that, but we just want to make sure that everybody has an idea so that when it comes time to create a condition where we may be having specific conditions, how they relate to the permit at hand and what the intent is and how it's legally justifiable. So that if somebody says, you know, well, you know, why do we allow this extra coverage of hardscape? And we can say, well, you know, because X, Y, and Z, and we mitigated it by requiring permeable pavement in the driveway. And we say, so nobody's going to nobody's going to say, well, oh, duh, I don't get that. But we just want to make sure that we stay in that mindset. And the nexus just means the connection. And I look at it as a connection that's easily explained and understood why this connects to this and why it's done.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
just,
saw a lot of things that the state has, which defines zoning boards parameters, their abilities, and what they're allowed to do, and what they're not so much what they're not allowed to do, which I guess is what we're talking. So it's there's some stuff there, but I don't quite understand it all. I've taken a couple webinars on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you know, because it's all, everything that the state puts out is all in lawyers' terms, and
Yeah.
It should be in
it's
planneries,
designed-
not lawyers.
It's
Yeah.
designed to be ambiguous, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a good point. And the one thing that really threw everybody, and this is what was really kind of the genesis of the conversation, was that when we worked with a couple of petitions ago, we talked about downtown overlay district special permit criteria that we don't always deal with. And so that changes things completely. There's something, you know, where there's a whole new set of things to mitigate. It's nothing, nobody's gone off course. There's nothing to worry about, but it was just something we're going to talk about when we have a upcoming meeting agenda that's free. And the idea is that Zoe's started a terrific draft with Paul on some of the zoning board rules and regulations that we hope to adopt in for too long, and just to help us. And it's all good stuff.
So I just wanted to get you guys up to speed on this, that, you know, we're talking about stuff. And the proposal was one of our meetings when it's pretty quiet and we don't have these long drawn out cases, that we could spend more time just hashing through some of these details, maybe put a draft up on the screen and look at some of the issues. And what are we referring to the town bylaws? Are we talking to the Golden Dream report? What do you call that, Bill?
The master plan.
Golden Dream.
Yeah, yeah.
What? Because
I would come up with a better name than that. The Golden Dream Report.
but anything in that stand up to the scrutiny of a Superior Court challenge? And I don't know. And so we need to get ourselves together so we understand how to do some of these more interesting cases when we get them.
so quick thing to that point, Paul. And to Bill's point, we need to wait until we've got a relatively quiet month where we've got a real quick hearing and gives us some more time. Why can't we have a couple of meetings in between those with the full board, with, you know, or as many of us as can make it? I mean, you know, not everybody's got a ton of spare time, myself included, but hey, if we need to go spend an hour and a half, you know, mid-August, discussing, you know, these points, so that at the end of August, we have our regular hearing, and if there's time after that, we can still discuss, you know, more of these points too. But waiting another month and then another month after that, or maybe 2 months, it drags out. I agree with it, and I'd love to see it move quicker. That's my 2 cents.
That's an awesome proposal. I'm for it. However is Zoe's time in preparing whatever she needs to prepare. I can work with her on some of this stuff. But
Yep.
one of the points that we came up with today is how much of her time is available to even draft our regular stuff, the rules and regulations stuff. And so maybe it's not the August thing, which is like 2 weeks from now, if you want to do a mid-month, but maybe the mid-September one, if we can want
Yeah.
to break it into
Yep.
mid-September. So we have our regular August meeting at the end of the month, whenever that date was, the 25th.
Yes.
25th, yeah.
And then we look at mid-September, if that's okay, Zoe. I'm not trying to.
That's
take-
fine with me. And if you want to call a, call a special meeting or, have another scheduled meeting that, that's certainly fine with me as long as, just we work out what the scheduling is, with all the other stuff.
So.
Between the
if-
two of us, we'll,
Yeah.
I'm not, Zoe's not gonna be alone with this, so
Yeah.
I mean.
So if we have our August meeting on the 25th, and one of the agenda items for that meeting would be to agree to post the public hearing
Mhm.
notice for this mid-September thing. And if that works, then cool. And I don't know you guys' schedules. I've been trying to keep it once a month just so that we don't get tricked by a short turnaround. But if we can meet, say that 2 weeks out Monday kind of thing, this is Monday, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For a couple more hours at least.
Yeah,
yeah.
and just, make that commitment at that point, because I don't know what our schedules are gonna be like in September until we even get close to it. Is that
So-
okay? Does that work?
So so Paul, to your point, so if we have this meeting, which is just us basically to,
Yeah.
discuss how we kind of move stuff forward, does that have to be a posted meeting schedule, that way?
Yes,
It does?
Yeah.
It does, it has
Okay.
to be a meeting, posted meeting. It doesn't have to be
Oh.
a noticed hearing. Because you're not
Okay.
gonna be changing the
Okay, but
bylaws
it
or
has to be,
anything.
it has to be a
Yeah.
posted meeting so the public can attend.
48 hours ahead.
Okay. Yep,
And
But
Yeah, I
I
just wanted
think September would be a good target date, wouldn't you think,
Okay.
Zoe?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, it's not necessary for the scheduling of that item to be an agenda item on a forthcoming meeting. The decision can be made to announce and post a public meeting essentially at any time. It's not required that the announcement be itself posted,
yep.
that
I-
for the fact that you're going to be posting it later.
But the reason I put it there is just as like a tickle file to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yep.
it's an organizational thing, that's fine, but if it turns out that we come up with a date that works for everybody between now and the next meeting, we can set that date and we can
Yeah.
post that, early if we want.
Perfect. Good.
Okay, so with that, I need one more motion tonight.
I'm over your adjourn.
You got a second?
Second.
Brad seconds.
Mhm.
All in favor?
I,
Yes.
All right, so.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
excellent meeting. That really was
Good night.
very good. Very
It
good.
was hard.
Thank
Intense,
you very
but
much,
good.
everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks, folks.
thank-
Have a good
yeah,
night.
thanks a
Very
lot.
interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye all.